YouTube, it's Brian Phillips, and we have a cat tree. And you're like, are you serious? You're reviewing a cat tree on your channel? This is disgusting. I'm never gonna watch this except for right now because I'm curious how you're gonna tie that into radio-controlled airplanes. And we will. You just wait and see. And by the way, just so you know, I am going to bait you with a promise to take you into the dungeon and show you plane storage. Occasionally, we get questions from people on our channel and special requests. Requests like more cats. And I'm like, really? You guys want to see more cats? Okay, fine. We'll try to work it in. And so I thought the cats broke our cat tree. And so we thought, you know, this is a pretty amazing cat tree.
It was super amazing.
Except it's broken. See, oh, actually, the cats didn't break it. The kids broke it.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's right. So we have 3 cats because, as you know, as part of building our runway and the ancillary home that we built so we could be close to it, and of course the farming and things like that, we needed to, you know, kind of like share with the audience the house build also. And we've done lots of things like that, but just nobody ever talks about it. Okay, we're gonna open this thing. We're gonna show you what it's all about, and we're gonna put a link in the description. So if you like it and you wanna support the channel, you can do that. And if you don't wanna support the channel, then you can not buy from that. And please don't hate on us because we want to do a cat tree unboxing. Ooh, wow, look at that. That's a little awkward looking. It looks just like our cat, actually.
It does.
Here, feel the cat.
Oh,
whoa,
it's
those
really
are
soft.
beautiful nails.
Thanks.
Do you like it, cat? Oh, the cat's eating.
The cat's
so we
eating.
have 3 cats. So part of moving to the country, we quickly realized that and we're dog people. We've never had cats, okay?
I had cats as a kid.
Well, I'm sorry.
You didn't.
We never had cats as a married couple
No.
with children.
True.
With or without children. Okay, so we're just gonna unbox this as we have story time. Brian Phillips, RC. Story time while unboxing cat trees. Oh, jeez, what does this world come to?
That thing is not going to fly very good. It's really
It's
heavy.
very heavy. It's like 37 pounds, or what is it? It's 17.5 kilos. So you're gonna definitely
Yes.
want your FAA sticker on there. I just keep finding more and more of these cat limbs. Oh, that was so weird when I pulled that out. I was like, why do they have a cat skin in there? That goes on the toilet. Actually, that would probably work perfect on the toilet bowl
Gross.
cover.
No.
What? It'd be comfy.
We have
if-
4 kids. You don't put extra things
Yeah,
on
that's
toilets.
true. Ooh, wow, that looks good. Okay, so that's a scratchy thing.
Well, hold on. You have to go back to story time because
So the reason we got cats is because when you live in the country and you have a 10-acre piece of property, there are many, many, many mice that want to attack and eat you and give you diseases and things. And not that mice aren't cute, because they are incredibly cute and incredibly destructive. Wow, look at those furry balls.
Ooh.
That's nice. Okay, we're gonna keep going. There's a lot of stuff in here. I'm gonna just tip it this way because otherwise it's gonna take me like 3.5
no kidding.
hours to
Goodness
take this
gracious.
stuff out. You know, I mean,
Well,
3.5 hours. We've done videos
sounds about right.
much
We're-
longer than that, actually.
Yes.
Oh wow, that's heavy. This must be the base because it's like way heavy. Okay. So this is some heavy MDF build. So it's medium density fiberboard, or you know, it actually might be. I don't know. Yeah,
I think it says
it's
particle
particle
board or
board.
something on
It's
the
not
box,
MDF.
yeah.
It's particle board. So it doesn't smell especially weird.
That's
Kind of
good.
smells almost cedarish. Smell it.
Does it?
It's not cedar, but it smells like it's got a cedar. Oh my goodness. What the heck is going on
That
here?
is
This
a
is going to take 7 or 8 years to build.
A lot of assembly instructions.
Oh, thank goodness it's not two-sided. The other day we did a plane that was a bird, and I started reading the instructions, and then I flipped it over, and I'm like, good lordy, there's more on the back. But you know what? It was awesome. And you know what else? Somebody asked for cats, so you're going to get cats tonight. We're going to fly the bird around the thing after we build the thing, and the cats are going to try to kill it, and it's going to be hilarious. And
Yes.
hopefully one of them gets it, because this little bird thing, if you haven't seen the build yet, the build, unbox, and flight, this thing is awesome, by the way. We will also link to this. Yes, shameless sales tools. We're going to show you this bird. Buy the link. You'll see it in the description.
Yeah.
This thing is hilarious. The cats love it.
Yeah.
And when I say love, they hate it and they want to eat it.
But the kids really like it.
The kids really like it.
Yeah.
And I don't even know what it costs. I know it's like It depends on where you ship it from. But all I know is wow, that's it?
Yeah.
It's only 40? Wow. Okay, so now that I've said that, I try not to talk about that stuff because sometimes these videos have a long shelf life.
Yeah, things
you might
change.
be watching it years later, and then after they get onto this channel and they sell like millions of units, they're like, wow, well, let's raise the price. That has actually happened. Never.
You're digressing really far from story time.
So anyway, story time. So we got the cats. I went to the tractor place. Wow,
You have
more
to
balls.
Well, you have
Furry
to have
balls.
a pair. When you have to go back further because when whoa, 3 is a little. Ooh.
Oh wow, they're 4. That's like quite the grouping.
When we just knew we were moving
Man,
out
that
to the
is
country.
heavy duty stuff.
No kidding.
Good Lord.
Do
Do they think these are like small
tigers?
Yeah, these aren't tigers, are they?
We told our oldest daughter that we would get a cat when a cat showed up. Was that one of the little house things? And we did.
A black cat, and it was a boy, but it was neutered. And how do we know this?
Because he didn't have
Right.
fuzzy.
But the camera crew is much smarter than me, and so she knew these things. Because I was like, well, there's, Frank and Beans. You can see it, right? I didn't even know you could see the right part of the equation.
You couldn't see it when we had a dog either. He was a boy.
Well, that's true, actually, now that I think of it.
Okay,
I
but
just
anyway.
never thought of it.
So-
But yeah, I couldn't tell it was a male.
And he was a super awesome
He was
mouser.
a really good cat, and that thing would kill so many mice. It was awesome.
Yes, he was awesome.
Did he bring him up here?
Yeah, he
Okay.
used to bring him to the patio door.
As a
share them.
reward?
Yes.
Because kittens and cats love to
that.
kill.
But he didn't stick around for like a super long time, and we don't know. I mean,
He probably got eaten.
they show up and they disappear. What?
This is Callie.
Oh,
You should introduce the cats.
This is Callie.
If you
yes.
guys are this invested
Hi,
into
Cal.
our cat video, you probably want to see the cats. Hey,
We have 2 girls and a boy.
Colby's under there.
So after that cat, the kids named him Shadow. After
Yes.
Shadow disappeared, I can't find any of our other cats. Oh, there's a tail. They're
Yep.
under here.
I think that's Pouncer might be over there.
Might be. We started seeing mice like almost immediately after Shadow disappeared. You started finding them in the garage, and we were seeing them in the yard all the time. So,
Steps.
oh, there's Pouncer.
There's Pouncer.
He's our
Pouncer
boy.
is our boy, and he's big compared to the girls.
Compared to the girls, yeah.
Here,
Oh,
come here,
Colby's
Pouncer.
under my chair.
Pouncer is pretty good about letting me handle him. We taught the cats. We got them from a tractor parts distributor. I don't know what you want to call them.
Junkyard?
They had a sign. Well, it's not a junkyard. They sell expensive stuff too, but there's a lot of junk there too.
Yes.
In the right hands, one man's trash is another's treasure. So anyway, the point is, these cats, look how big they are. Like this guy's big. And this is Pouncer.
Pouncer.
He's beautiful. They're actually all really pretty cats.
They are.
But they were so little that I could hold them like this.
Yes.
They were so shamelessly introduced into a tire pressure gauge video.
They were.
If you're curious, you can see them. And one of them jumped off of the table when we were filming.
And now they jump off of everything.
They
But
jump
were
from
teeny
table
tiny then.
to, yeah, they're very capable.
So
And
Colby's under my chair.
Colby's
She's
hiding. She's kind of antisocial. She got her foot stuck in a plant stand when she was young, and she's been scared of me ever since I took her finger out and untwisted it from,
and
it was
fixed her.
not fun.
It was like 2 a.m.
Yeah,
So Brian comes home, or he's at this tractor
place.
junkyard, and he texts me this picture of these little kittens in a paper, like a paper tray box. So I have no frame of reference. And he says, "Do you want all 3?" I said, "Sure."
Well, I wanted to get all the siblings because I knew we wanted to have a few of them. And I was trying to get Mom, but Mom was like fully invested in living in this one. I mean, it's a great place for cats because they probably ate better there than we feed them. These were supposed to be outside cats.
Right.
That's the other thing. They're supposed to be farm cats.
So when they came home and you could hold all 3 cats in one hand,
It didn't last long.
in March in Iowa, we knew we weren't going to put them out on the
Oh,
deck.
and then we also had to bottle feed them for like one day.
So, or a week, someone else did.
This is a lot of pieces.
It was a ton of pieces.
Hey, what is it with
This thing is a...
This is like a dynamite.
I was just going to say.
Okay, so if you guys aren't familiar with the channel, I mean, obviously you're watching a video from the channel, but we do radio-controlled airplane reviews, and we build them, and then we review them, and we fly them. So, whoa, they can knock the balls off. Wow, look at that.
Oh, they're meant to come off?
Well, they unscrew.
Oh,
see?
That's kind
Like
of nice,
this.
actually.
Well, they do get broke otherwise.
They broke the other one in like
Elastic.
a day.
Yep.
On the old one.
So if you guys are watching this video and you're kind of wondering what the heck we're doing, don't feel bad. We also feel the same way. But we want to share some of these things. People ask questions, and we actually, a lot of times we say wait longer for a long time. And so that's why we're baiting you with the basement plane storage, because that's kind of a big deal. Some of you have been asking for like a few months, and we've just been super busy with new production. And every time we film a video, it doesn't probably seem like it, but we try to have a certain amount of time that the videos are out, and they are like the last video being out. What is this gonna be? Like they land that?
Bowl thing. They'll love that.
So anyway, that means that we can't release a million videos all at once, so we kind of have to space them out a little bit just to satisfy the YouTube algorithm. So if you're watching this and you want to help us to have success, smash the like button. You will help. I promise you will. And then also just look at the links and buy from our links, and you will be helping us. I mean, you don't have to buy stuff you don't want. I'm just saying, buy stuff you do want. Just follow the link, and then, you know, it helps us a lot. So these are all labeled. They have letters attached. So these are B's. This is an H, and that's an I. Maybe it's not as bad piece count wise as I thought. I really actually like the color.
Yeah, the color actually is
not
good.
that these couches are kind of needing to be replaced anyway, but
yeah.
Just kind of looking at this, it's really heavy duty actually.
There's also a tan option. If
Oh,
people
that's
really
right.
do want a cat tree, there is another
We'll
color
link to
option.
both. We'll just put them at the top, and you can pick whichever one you like. Or if you don't like cat videos and you want to watch an airplane video, there's a million other choices. So the instructions, oh boy, what is this? Let's look at this. Let's show. So there is a, you can scan this and it'll do an installation guide.
Oh.
So this is going to be fun. We'll see if it's actually as easy as it looks like it's going to be. And when I say as easy as it looks horribly not easy. So I don't know, we'll probably pause and kind of get organized. And then part of our commitment to you in this video is that we're going to show the cats using it. And we're not sure if we're going to have to time lapse for that, because they are cats after all. I mean, you can't really make them do anything. Mm-hmm. So we'll come right back when we've got things organized. Okay, so we're going to cut this open. We decided that the organization was going to be a moot point. So you see this, guys? There's a lot of hardware on this thing. Goodness gracious. So when you get it, you've got these braces, and then you've got some long threaded bolts like this. They're just going to connect joiners, probably for these long ones. And then you've got these, and you've got these. This is what I was talking about. So what I want to do is I want to find a drill bit adapter and get a drill, because I am not doing this by hand. That's going to be horrible. So we'll be right back. Okay, so I'm cheating. I'm using a T30 bit because that's what I have. And the T30 bit will work with whatever hex size this is, okay? So ideally you would use the correct tool for the job, but we don't care. Nope. That being said, the first step we're supposed to do is basically put these little tent figures together. That's H, that's I. See how it's H and I?
Yeah.
So here's I and here's H. So H is the first one. So we're gonna look at H, and then N are these. See how they're all labeled? Yep. So you just kind of have to, whoa, that makes it like really firm. Okay, cool. I know.
Tell it.
I heard it too. So which bolt do we use though?
I don't know. Do we use a bolt, or do they just like, oh, WI.
WI.
So WI is these that have 16, those.
16?
Yes.
16 what?
There's 16 pieces of those.
Oh, there's 16 of them.
Yes.
Okay. So, do you want to show the people at home what I'm doing here? I'm trying to line up the holes.
Oh.
And it's really not as easy as I thought it might be to line up the holes.
The first one might be the worst.
Well, that's what I'm thinking too. That's why I wanted to have, oh, that's not so bad.
That is some heavy duty hardware for
It is actually
cat tree.
really heavy duty. I think what they're concerned about is that the cat tree is going to become a child tree.
They're not the only ones that are concerned.
The last cat tree that we had, when it broke because the kids were screwing around, I know that our youngest tipped something over and it just broke the thing on the bottom, but I can't recall what the deal was that.
Well, the deal was he was throwing parachutes over the stairs.
That's what he was doing.
And then he like fell on it.
So these are nice because they're covered on all sides.
Yeah.
And that's going to give them something to scratch. I had no idea how much cats needed to scratch when we first got cats. Because, like I said, I was not a cat person.
Nope.
And I'm still not a cat person.
Whatever.
I'm a dog person that has cats.
You're totally a cat person now.
Dang it. It is kind of nice because they do their business inside. And they're generally clean, but they do shed in our case. And I guess I understand not all cats shed, just like not all dogs don't shed, you know. So we're not trying to sell you on cats necessarily. We're just trying to sell you the home that they live in. So that being said, when people ask for videos about cats, this is kind of what you get. And we will get the cat footage for you. And then we're going to show you the basement maybe at some point.
You can't say maybe now. We're 17 minutes into this.
I am a parent. I have been known to bait children. Like if you obey, then we'll give you this other thing later. No, we'll show you what we're doing downstairs on that. Okay, so basically.
Wait, your bit came out. It's in the top of that one. There you go.
Show the people. See?
Oh, nice.
It's really nice.
Yeah.
It's just going to be super easy to forget to put one in.
Are there 3 houses or are they going to have to fight over a house? I think there's only 2.
Well, there's also that basket thing, and Colby is super small compared to the other 2, so she'll probably like that better, I bet.
Yeah.
It's actually really pretty easy to do this. It's just probably going to take a little bit of time.
Time-consuming.
So maybe what we'll do is we'll get the first one started, and then we'll come right back when we get the 3 houses like this done. Okay, so I noticed one issue. It's you kind of got to like feel around until you hit the hole.
Well.
And then once you hit the hole, you have to be a little bit careful that you're not slipping out the side like this. I'm missing that opening. I don't know if you can see that. So you have to be like this, okay? Once it's started, then you can go back to the drill, which makes it a little bit easier. And I'm not over tightening anything. I'm just kind of putting it until it's snug. I suppose you could over tighten these if you wanted to. They're just nut zerts, so they'll spin out if you go too crazy. Okay, so there's the first one completed. I don't know if that's like the top. It looks pretty nice. I hope you can't see the bottom, you know.
Yeah.
Because it is pretty tall, so if it's up like this, it wouldn't be so bad. Because it's not like a super ugly finish.
Right. No, it's fine.
So that looks all right. I'm sure the cats will like it. Okay, so with that being said, we have to build, it looks like an eye as well, and it's gonna be the exact same construction right here. So we'll get that one done and come right back. Okay, so one thing I noticed as I was putting the first one together, it really did help if I stuck all 4 legs in loose and then put the screws in. It just seems to go a little easier, and so I would highly recommend that. The other thing too is then when you get one started, you're not fighting. The first one's actually pretty hard to get lined up, and so if you have 4 points held up, it doesn't want to do this because it's really hard to get the alignment. So I would start there. That's all I had. We can pause again. Okay, so with a drill, one thing I wanted to point out, let's give them an ultra close up here. So as you tighten a screw on carpet or fur or whatever this is, it's gonna pull that, but I haven't had a problem. I've been able to tighten and it hasn't ripped the fabric off. If you guys have ever tried to use a screw on carpet, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. It will suck the carpet into the drill and really cause lots of problems. So if you want to take a quick look at that one as it's done, I really like the finish on this. It's like really plush. I was kind of hoping this would be a tighter fit for keeping it more square, but it's not like a deal breaker, obviously. And the color is nice. It really matches nicely in here.
Yeah.
The other thing too is this is such a huge structure that you could totally take and just do parts of it and then put other parts other places. Okay, so we're done with those. That's H and I.
Yep.
So now we have to do this one?
Nope, the base over here.
Oh, the base. Okay.
So G
is G. This is C, hun.
the big
Oh, that's
square.
the top because it's got a safety thing on it.
Yes.
See this? There is a provided safety thing that you're supposed to be able to put up against the wall, and it comes with this.
Yep. Does that little washer go with that too, probably?
It probably does, yeah, that's true. I guess I didn't look at the assembly.
Yeah,
it shows them right here.
Yep.
So basically that's supposed to allow you, if you have this up against the wall, then you can actually put this into your drywall, because we all know that drywall is gonna hold a giant structure with cats jumping off of it. I would rather have the thing fall over and not hurt anything. But it is, 30 pounds, 34 pounds. So you need to, I was just waiting for the cat to jump into that.
I can't believe she took that long to find that box.
Yeah, no kidding. The cats love the boxes. So, and we unbox stuff all the time. So, okay, so G is the base, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so this is the base. I know you're trying to watch the cat, and that's fine.
The plastic is scaring her.
Okay, so there is 4 holes on this. What am I doing on these ones?
We need 2 L's and 2 M's.
2 L's and 2 M's. So, okay, so these ones are O's. So the short ones are O's. This is an R. That's an M. Okay, so we need 2 L's and 2 M's.
Yep.
These are L's, and then these are M's.
Here's another M.
Okay, cool. This is really not a hard assembly at all.
W3
It is a lot easier with the drill, though.
is these.
Okay, so does it matter which side I do, the longer one versus the shorter?
Well,
so these ones?
It's square, right? So L and L are front back, and then M and M are front and back.
There's holes drilled in this, so you don't have to worry about drilling holes. And I was a little bit nervous about that. Hey, I wonder if that's the same size. Oh yeah, they only have one size.
Yes.
So I'm just holding my thumb over the head of the screw, and then, well, my forefinger now, my pointer finger, and I'm just spinning it to see how well this works. And I'm just really putting a lot of pressure on it, and that made it pretty easy. This is gonna get really unwieldy.
Yes, it is.
If you use an impact, just remember that if you don't have perfect alignment, there's a little bit of play, but not much.
Was that L? Yes. So then put that other L over closest to you.
Okay. I don't think it matters which side. I'm just really pleased that there's holes in this fabric, because that would be a nightmare if there wasn't. Believe it or not, this is like a million times easier than building a plane.
It is.
Especially.
Much more enjoyable.
Yes, it is. Well, and the thing is, when you build foam airplanes and then you go fly them, some don't survive as long as you would like them to.
Nope.
This will last hopefully longer than the last one we got.
Yeah.
Whoa. This is pretty heavy duty too. The particle board seems to be holding up. It doesn't seem cheap or anything. Mm-mm. I wasn't sure what to think. Anytime you buy furniture online, it's kind of like, is this gonna be any good? I mean, the picture looks okay, but is it gonna actually suck when we get it?
Yeah.
So we were a little bit reluctant. Plus, we're doing a cat tree also. There was that factor too. Okay. My Torx bit is wanting to bite a little bit, and so it's wanting to stay in there.
Yeah.
All right, so we've got that. Ow, man, those things are sharp. Be careful. Sometimes they'll bite you.
Okay, so now we need F.
That was so weird.
And I, which
F
is
and
the
I?
big house.
F
is just a flat board.
Oh, okay. I see F over there. So here's F, camera crew. Honey. Right here, F.
Okay.
So
That's
it goes
going
where?
on top of L, the 2 taller ones.
The 2 L's.
With these.
Okay, so these ones we won't be able to use the drill, so we're gonna have to feed those in. And then when we get the other half on, then we'll twist them to actually get the bite.
Okay. While you're doing that, I'm gonna look and see what hardware we need.
Out. Elbow.
W3. Where's W3? Oh, these. Okay. These are gonna go in the middle. Hopefully
Okay.
there's holes in that. Should go in over here on this shorter side.
I'm not sure how much to go in on this because
we're gonna screw more posts
Yeah.
onto that. So.
it just doesn't stop.
Oh, really?
No, it just keeps going. So I'm not really sure how to prevent it from continuing. Okay, so now we need to attach that.
Yes.
All right. And this faces out like this.
Yes.
Okay. This
With these.
Is this called a cat-condo?
I don't know. It's called, yeah, probably. Because there's more than one little
Oh.
house thingy.
Boy, finding the holes are a little bit challenging on these things. You really got to move your fingers around through the fuzzy areas. Hey, wait. Do we need to think about what direction this thing is going to face?
No, because I think it kind of is like an
omnidirectional.
omnidirectional. Can that be the title? Omnidirectional.
Omnidirectional cat.
condo.
It's not cat tree. It'd be a cat. Okay, so look, this is a Bosch 18 volt impact, and it does fit in here, okay? If you had a drill, you'd be really hard pressed to get the drill in because the body would be a lot longer. And the drill has been really nice. Make this super easy compared to what it would be.
Can we start collecting pieces?
I don't know, if you want to. So, this is actually kind of nice and cozy in here. You know what else this would do good? You know what else this would do?
What?
If you have a big echoey reflective room like this, it might actually help a little bit with sound control, with echoes. Okay, so we have those attached. What's next?
Okay, so now we're gonna do 2 short O's, which are these,
Oh.
with A, which is this little like
Wait,
nest
where does
thing.
O go? Oh, it goes on one of these sides?
Yeah.
Hey, show the
in the
people what
front.
I'm doing. So I'm just lining up the threads, and I'm kind of putting my thumb down to prevent it from spinning excessively.
Oh, okay.
And then once I get as far as I can go that direction, now I'm just hoping that it doesn't spin all the way down. You follow?
Yep.
Because if it spins, I'm just turning it really, really, really hard. Oh, you know what? I can't tell if they're the same. Are these the same, top and bottom?
Yeah.
Yeah, they are. Okay. Now I'm just going to torque it down like crazy, as much as I can possibly do, until things start breaking. Okay, we're good there.
Okay, then we need, wait, this goes in the middle and then that goes on top. But I gotta figure out what hardware we
I think
need.
it's one of these
A
things.
W4, yep.
W4. Okay. Which direction does this W4 go, like, once I get it hooked up? Does it stick out the
I
side?
think it's supposed to go out the side, is kind of how it looks.
Or which side? Or is
Well-
that supposed to be able to pivot?
I don't know, because I think it's supposed to go like towards the TV, but I don't know how.
Toward the TV?
Like that.
this? Oh, okay. It might actually spin.
Well, that's what I was just gonna say. Is it like adjustable?
Huh, I'm not sure.
And then that goes on top.
Okay.
Another O.
So far, pretty simple stuff, guys. We kind of don't want to shortchange you. We know you want to watch this entire build, just like every other build video we do on Brian Phillips
Yes.
RC. Because there's not a dull moment here.
Where's our other L?
I don't know.
Oh, here it is. I found it.
Is that the other tall one then?
Yes, that'll go in the back. I guess I can hold that for you.
Okay. So for those of you who have a dog,
I'm sure they would love this, too.
the people that have dogs that don't watch this video are going to be so annoyed with me. They're going to be like, you have to do a dog tree next. Or a
We
dog
had a
house.
dog for a long time.
I know, but we don't have a dog tree.
No, we don't.
People are going to be ticked off.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to be like, you're just a dog loverist.
That's what Brian got me for Christmas when we first got married.
Yeah,
A dog.
I was unemployed, so it was a great idea.
Well,
It's like, let's get another dependent. I think that's what all people that lose their jobs do.
the timing worked out fairly well, though. It was okay.
Yeah, he was a good dog. He was a great dog.
He was a really good dog.
But it did work out okay. All right, so here we go. We got it. It's getting there.
Then.
And if you think you got it tight, just turn it like 3 more times. And then when you get there, give it as much as you got.
M. Okay, so we need another M, which is going to come out the top of...
Like M&M?
That's... Shh, don't say that.
Here?
No, over the big door, I think.
What?
Is there a hole or is it like centered? Oops,
Here.
sorry.
Here.
With a W3.
A W?
Which is one of these.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay, so look guys, the trick is slide your hand under with your knuckle and you can feel it. And then when it goes out, it's super easy to get started. Okay, then you can reach in. You just got to do a little reach around. A little reach around and try to hit the whole blind. Ooh, wow.
Jeez.
Aggressive. It's got a little wiggle tendency.
Lose your tip in there.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
Okay. Next.
It would be hard to find.
It would.
If you pulled out.
7. Oh, is that C piece?
C piece?
Yes.
Should I maybe like put this on the ground or is it gonna be, I mean, it's
Well,
getting pretty huge.
Yeah, I know. Or maybe on the table.
Whoa,
Would
geez.
be down a little bit.
Oh boy, whoa, it's so heavy. That's a big load.
W3.
Hey,
What?
C has this little strap thing on
Yeah.
it. So we have to decide what we're gonna do with that.
Well, can't
'Cause
we just
it's-
leave it there for right now? Because we don't know where we're going to put it.
Yeah, that's true. If it is up against the wall, I think that'd be wise, but we're not gonna have it up against the wall probably.
Okay, so
So now I have to use W's?
you need 2 W3s.
What? These?
Yep.
And then?
And then a W4 is still going to
Where's
come
the
out the top.
W4?
The W4 comes out the top up
Center?
here. This one.
Really?
Yes. Because then there's going to be something else above that little nest thingy.
Okay.
Is the nest thingy going to spin?
I mean, if you pull hard enough, it will, and it'll undo the rest of the structure.
It'll all
Which should be no
collapse
big
in a
deal
heap.
because the cats won't destroy it. I hope.
Pouncer's checking me out.
Come on, Pouncer. Well, hopefully he doesn't get scared of it right away. Here, hand me the drill because now that we're divided. Oh, wait, hold on. Wait, did I do this wrong? No. There's like a nut zert there or something.
Oh.
I'm feeling it with my finger.
Oh.
I'm not sure what it is, but there's something there.
This thing is like 67 inches tall or something like that.
Okay, so we're there. I mean, it's sort of sturdy. I tightened all the hardware hard. Excuse me. Whoa.
It won't be annoying at all on your side.
Oh. Okay, so then
Okay.
this goes, wait, hold on.
Hold on.
This is an R. R.
Okay.
K.
K goes in the front,
What?
up above that thing.
K.
K goes on the screw that's already there.
Hey, look.
Then that goes out the top.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Then we need the other little house and R.
Where do the toilet bowl lids go?
Those go clear up at the top. We're getting there.
What do you mean at the top? Where's the top?
The top of K, like that's going to be the top here in a
I
second.
thought that little condo went up there.
No. Oh, goodness. But I'm confused.
Why?
Oh, that sits just on there like that, but spin it so
Wait.
that the doors this way.
This just sits on there?
Well, I don't think so. It says C, so I got to see what C is. Or is C that piece? It needs a W2 up from the bottom. W2 is this one that there's only one of.
So there's a shorter W2 and a
Yes.
W3 is
Yep.
longer. Okay, so this reaches up from,
The middle of that.
oh wow, man. I feel like this is kind of wasting a platform because the platform is already there and then you got a platform with this thing. I was hoping that we would be able to get more.
But there's going to be another thing on top of it.
Yep, there's a hole in the middle.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Wow. This is really not that hard to build. It's just a little bit strange.
But how is R going to come out the top of that?
Right there.
Oh, it's sturdy, I guess. It's just the sides that aren't.
Yeah.
Solid.
This is like, this short bolt is a pain though. It's really hard to get lined up with a nut zert. You guys know what a nut zert now? If you didn't know before, this is a nut zert. It's like a nut that gets nailed in. It's an insert, and then it receives a bolt through it. That's a nut zert.
Can you
see that? But it's like too short or harder than. This is like the worst one so far.
It is.
Which honestly is not too bad.
Should we pause while you struggle?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Go ahead.
Okay, guys. I got it. The issue what I was doing wrong was I wasn't lining up the edges right on the edge. I thought it was in slightly.
Oh.
It was not. And that nut zert was making it hard with that shortest, that's like the shortest bolt you have.
Yep.
And the reason it's short is because you don't have much material to screw into. Okay, so that's done.
Then R goes in the top
Arr.
with, nope, that needs to go out the top. You put it in with a 3.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
And this is a 3 because it's going through the thickness and then into one of these.
Yeah.
Whereas 2 is only going into the base of this little condo thing.
Yep.
Isn't it called a cat-condo?
Sure. You can call it that if you want to.
No, I thought I'd seen that before.
Oh, no, there's no name on the box.
Okay.
Or no, like, instructions.
There's a lot of screwing involved in making this happen. Mm-hmm. Okay, so the other thing I noticed is that when you do tighten these, when you have access to get a screwdriver in there, I would highly recommend that you go in there with the screwdriver or the drill. Whoa. What was that? Oh, see, like I said, I wasn't even in it.
Oh.
That's kind of annoying. What was I screwing into?
I don't know.
Huh, that's weird. I hope it's the right size. Oh, I was in reverse. I was like, that's so strange.
That was it.
Yeah, okay, so what's next now?
The little ramps right there in front of you.
Okay, I gotta do the angular adapter thingies.
Yeah, that must be
I haven't pre-drilled one hole yet. This is pretty nice.
So the brackets go, and then those little screws.
That's what these nuts are for, I bet. There's one there.
No, here, right here.
There's one here. There's one, feel right there.
No. That's for the little hanging ball thing. Because there's 2 right here. It's supposed to go from here to there. And
from here to here?
Yeah, that's the first one.
Okay, I feel the nut zerts. So it hooks from the top and then just hangs down. So you guys pay attention for a sec. There's hooks here and nothing here, okay?
Oh, okay.
So one of them goes here and then none go here. So it should be pretty straightforward stuff. I'm actually gonna sit just so it's easier to reach. I just have a really hard time believing that the cats aren't gonna love this.
Oh, they're gonna love it. I'm not really worried.
They better love it.
Or what?
I'm wondering if I did this in a stupid order. Because now we have to do the screws up.
Upside down or whatever.
Yeah. Okay, so let's see if I can do this while still being lazy and sitting. Because it'd be better if I could just be lazy. Oh no, don't you be doing that now. Okay. It is a little bit tough to torque it down without having them get out of alignment. Luckily, cats are not super heavy creatures, except for Pouncer. He's heavy.
He's not that heavy.
That's true.
He weighs like 8 pounds.
Is that not heavy for a cat?
No. I mean, it's not tiny.
Have we even showed Colby?
No, she's still hiding under my chair.
We should retrieve her. We should retrieve her because she's
Here's Pouncer waiting to go outside, sitting on the rug
probably needs to poop.
where they sit waiting for birds.
Pouncer, we have 2. Do we need to talk about the
Colby.
This is way more cat than these people meant to ask
know.
for. They were like, show
Aw,
more cats, not the
there's
entire
Colby.
video.
Hey, Cold.
Huh?
Oh, come here.
Our littlest daughter is kind of friends with Colby.
This is Colby.
She looks so happy to see you.
I know. She's really glad that I woke her up from her nap.
Whoa. Oh, that didn't look like a scared face at all, if I've
No.
ever seen one.
Yep, our youngest daughter, Colby's her favorite.
Which is funny because Colby tolerates a lot.
Yes. From her mostly only, and like
Yeah.
not from anyone else.
True. Okay, so we have to do this on the bottom one too, and that was a frustrating experience. It was probably, that screw was the worst, and then that was the second worst.
So are you gonna do it in the same order?
I think it's, you know, it's kind of, you got to do it at some point. You might as well do it where it's comfortable, where you can.
Okay. She's going back to the chair.
Now, I want to talk to them for a second because I feel like if you can get it to screw in here and then torque it until it spins, that'd be better. See? Show the people what I was just talking about there, camera crew. So what happens is when you go to tighten this, if you're using a drill like I am, tighten it here, and then as it torques down, it's going to torque into a square position. If these are out of alignment, it makes it a lot harder to line them up under here because you're going into nut zerts, so they're specific locations.
Right.
That being said, there's also a little bit of adjustment here. So if you would have like a minor gap, you could go in there and loosen. You see this gap like I'm talking about here, right there? The cats are going to like that. That'll help them get up there so they don't slip off. But you see, you've got a little bit of play on, this is one of the few spots on this build that we've got adjustability.
Well, and that one's gonna go all the way down to the floor, so that might help if you have carpet versus hardwood or something like that.
Yeah, you can make up a little bit of a
Yeah.
gap.
But so far, everything has been like in
pretty easy.
alignment.
See what I'm talking about?
Yeah, that makes sense.
I would absolutely recommend using an impact because this is going to be a lot of,
Yeah.
You're gonna
if you
have-
had to do that with the Allen wrench, that would be
it would be pretty
crazy.
horrible. Okay, so do we need to hang our balls first? Or we,
Well, we could. That's the next. Well,
is this,
the
where
next,
does this go though?
It's gonna go
Out of this house right
yeah,
here?
from the big door down to the ground.
All right, why don't we move that and then, I'm just trying to think if I should just put this back up.
Well, we got to put the things on the top.
Okay.
There.
I'll just crawl on the ground.
Okay.
I'll crawl on the ground. So it goes here.
Yes.
This is the first time I've had to crawl on the ground to do this. All right, so
Are there nut zerts under there?
yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Every single one of these things is a nut zert or it's a pass through from nut zert to nut zert. And so I'm actually quite impressed with how heavy duty it is. It's a lot of assembly because there's a lot of pieces, but it's nothing too crazy.
No.
It's a lot easier than building a dynoplane.
Most definitely.
But this thing doesn't have to fly either.
No.
These nut zerts are the worst though because they don't line up as good as the other ones. Even though they are still technically lined up, they don't quite line up, so you kind of have to manipulate. Do you want to maybe get a camera angle where you can see what I'm doing? Mm-hmm. Still not there.
I know.
See this one here? I had to grab this and kind of tug on it to get it to spin over a little bit. And once it's turned, I'm going to torque this in real tight, and that's going to pull it into alignment. But you see, I'm having to really kind of fight it a little bit. Okay. I'm assuming this would be the type of thing, like if you were buying it at a store, you'd want to make sure you don't buy the display because it's probably put together crappy.
Yeah.
I haven't had one screw strip out on me though. Whoops. I don't think I'm lined up in the hole. That one I want to do really tight. because I have to lift this and it'll be held up in the air
Right.
in a weird way. Okay. All right, good. So now they can go up here and they have a nice edge to catch. So that'll work good.
Okay. Cool.
My tip got stuck in the blind hole. I hate it when that happens.
Okay.
All right, so the toilet bowl covers,
Yeah. We need B down there.
they go on top of those things?
Yeah.
Why?
Supposedly.
That's weird.
B
Oh, because there's hardware.
goes on, and then Q, like, goes over them somehow.
Why?
I don't know.
Okay.
That's what the directions say.
Are they supposed to be square?
Yeah. I would like them to be square. If not,
I would like this to not turn. So I'm just going to do this for the last little bit of tightening, I guess. I don't know. That's fine. So these go on top?
Yeah. Did they have like?
Oh, it's like
edge?
a little edge.
Yeah.
So the cat can curl up in there.
Yeah.
And cats love to be able to be up high and see what's going on around so they can scope out their next kill.
Our cats love, in our master bathroom, we have 2 like transom windows up high.
And in
that's
our
like
bathroom.
One of our favorite spots. Yep. And they like being in the bathroom.
Yep. Okay, so that's, and those are square, so there's not a wrong way to put them on. There's an extra nut here. I don't know
That's
why.
for, there's going to be a
Oh, for
ball.
hanging balls.
Yeah. Oh, so they will be somewhat directional because you want the ball to hang over where they can get to it.
Okay. So I'm thinking, so you want the balls where?
It's supposed to be there. Yeah.
Well, that worked out good.
That was good. Good
So
job.
hold on, which one is it? The balls like this or the springy balls?
The ball's like that.
Okay.
Are there 2 springy balls or 1?
There's one springy ball right here.
That goes right there where your hand is, on that corner.
Right here.
Yep. Is there a spot?
There's a nutsert right there.
Okay. Yes. Then the other dangly ball goes on this one.
Okay. Well, hold on. There's 3 balls.
There is?
And look. Oh, it's a spare ball.
Sweet.
So that way, because these things separate.
Oh, because this has the
screw.
Oh, it won't focus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so this, hold on. I need this ball to hang where?
One rotation towards, yes.
This is where they intended for the balls
Right.
to end up. Okay.
Yep.
You never know when they'll, be in the wrong spot though, because I'm guessing that they're going to spin these things.
I don't know. I'm curious how it'll be interesting to see them get up there.
I know. I can't wait to see them use it actually. I wonder if we could put this behind your chair now.
Maybe.
Okay, so that's all the way in there. They're going to love those things for about 1 day.
Hey, you got to put your toilet seat cover on.
I know.
Okay.
I just hadn't gotten to it yet. Okay, so this build on a scale of 1 to 10 was I mean, 10 being like really, 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 really good, and 1 being like really, really, really horrible. I would say that I would give it a 6 or a 7 because it could be easier, but it wasn't really hard.
No.
Okay, I'd give it an 8 because if I give it a 6, then that's not fair because it's actually a pretty easy build.
Yeah.
Incredibly easy, no less. Did I not get this screwed in? It's so weird. I swear I just had that screwed in.
I don't know.
Okay, all right, so that's in. I just wonder if the cats are going to want to take those things off, like if they're going to get pulled off of there.
I don't know. See, the other one on the little one we had was just glued into the thing, so it came out right away.
Yeah,
So.
actually, again, the same kid that broke that.
No. I thought
he?
the cats actually broke that.
No.
Oh.
Okay, so where are we going to put this?
I don't know. We're going to put it like in the middle of the room for now so that the cats can.
Okay, so we will pause and, well, actually, you guys got to know how hard this is to move. And we have hardwood floors here, so I think I can pick the whole thing up. I might have to kind of resituate the basket a little bit. If this thing is pretty, like, huge.
It is.
Oh my goodness, it's not really like that heavy, but it's really awkward
Kind
to
of
move.
awkward.
Okay.
We're
Like
just going to
this?
put it there for now so that they can see it.
Okay. And look how much nicer that looks in this one.
Yeah.
The gray matches. Look, see, this is like carpet.
Yep.
And then this is another fabric, and it does not match in color. You don't notice it, but the scratching pole might be kind of nice to add. I wonder if we could like put that up here so they have even more scratching poles.
No, it's broken.
No, just the pole part. Okay, so where are the cats?
Now they're all hiding.
They are?
Well, is Colby still under my chair?
I think we're gonna find the cats probably. Let's find the cats and come back. Okay, so this is Callie. This is our middle-sized cat. And she's also the most, she's like really excited. Her heart's beating like crazy. I think she's kind of excited and scared for this, which I don't know why. You should love this. Try it out. I think she's gonna like it because she likes rubbing her face a lot. So we're gonna see how she does.
I don't know where Pouncer went.
She seems pretty content up there right now. That's great.
She didn't immediately run away.
So now what I want to do is while she's up there, I want to tempt her with following a bird. Do you suppose that would be fine? Or will that draw out the other kittens?
It might draw out the other cats.
The other cats.
Pouncer will probably come out if he hears it.
Okay. So I'm going to hook this thing up and we're going to fly it also.
Are we showing the bird?
Well, why don't you let me get it set up first?
Okay.
That would probably be better.
What do you think, Cal? You like that? Yeah. Look. You do it.
She's just chilling there. Is she scared?
No, she's just looking.
Because I don't want to scare her.
There comes a Colby.
Is Colby coming?
Yeah.
Oh,
She just came out from under the chair.
Okay, cool. Let's just let them do their thing. I don't want to harass them with this bird yet.
Oh, see, there goes Callie. She's going to try and figure out how to go up. Oh, there's Pouncer.
They're all three.
Yep, there's Pouncer. I told you he'd come out.
Oh, Colby's going to get scared by me, though. Go ahead and use it, guys.
See, Callie?
She's smelling it.
Yep.
This bird doesn't gain altitude very quick.
It does not.
So I have to start it up high. I was hoping to relax and watch the cats while we all watch the cats. They're going to be like superstar cats. And you can turn off the flapping of the wings. This is the weirdest toy airplane thing
Yes, it is.
we've probably reviewed on the channel. We've done a lot of different planes.
It is definitely the weirdest.
It is super weird, but the cats were freaking out for Andrew, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And it is supposed to have all sorts of accident avoidance, collision resistance, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know about all that, but
Maybe. Yeah, it wasn't very accident avoidant.
yeah. Do you think I could just put Pouncer up too?
Oh, look, Callie's using a little ladder to get down.
Oh, cool. Callie was the most concerned about the bird. Oh no.
Pouncer was earlier today.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to scare him too bad.
No, they're just like super curious about it.
Okay.
The bird and the thing. Makes a good ornament.
Okay, so we're gonna pause and let the cats, see now the cat has gone to the broken thing. Which doesn't surprise me because she's used to it.
Yeah.
Callie's probably the most concerned with the bird. But then you said Pouncer was freaking out earlier, right?
Yeah. But he also like just woke up.
Oh, from his stupor?
Yes. See, they're watching it.
Okay, now we've got the activity. Oh, I know what's wrong. One of my streamers got caught. So that makes it fly pretty bad. Oh, that flew really bad then. Okay, here we go. Oh boy. See, now Callie's super interested. I think what I want to do is put the bird at the top of the thing and see if we can trick them into going up to the top.
To go up there?
Or do you want to see it? Do you want to see it? Oh no, don't go in the oven.
How would not be good?
This also glides, sort of. I don't know if you guys could tell that, but it's actually one of the more challenging things to fly, even though it will do some semi-autonomous flight.
If you really care.
I just wish Pouncer would freak out. Come on, Pouncer.
Put it up there on the top.
Okay, you
See
ready?
if they go up there.
Come on, Callie. You want me to put it up here and then make it flap? Let's try flapping it. Are you showing the cats?
I'm trying to show both.
Callie is up on the thing now.
Yeah. Pouncer is getting curious.
Okay, good, finally.
Yeah.
No cats or birds were harmed in the making of this video, except for potentially this bird, which could be destroyed. I kind of hope not though, since it's fun. This Pouncer's like not sure what to do.
Yeah.
Do you like it? We're not trying to coax the cats. Do you see? Callie is already taken to it. But I think it's just from a visibility standpoint. It's really big.
Pouncer's like licking his lips.
Yeah, but Colby is down there scared to death, I think. She's just kind of skittish in general. Do you see every time I go?
Yeah.
Look at the tail. Oh, look, Colby. Watch out, camera crew. Oh, dang.
Okay.
The
What
bird.
did turn off that time?
It didn't turn off.
I did.
I turned it off.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. Okay, so this thing has several different directions it can fly. And right now, I think I know what I'm doing wrong. I was in the automatic mode. Now I'm going to go into the manual mode.
Oh.
We'll see if that makes a bigger difference. Yeah, that helps a lot. Because then it just goes straight when I let go of the controller. There's up, there's down. Up. It's not the easiest. It's kind of like I have to make a suggestion.
Yeah.
It's not like it just does exactly what I want. I kind of make a suggestion and it thinks about turning that way. Oh no!
Oh no. Oh, Callie's on the TV now.
All the cats are out though, right?
No, Colby's still under the chair.
Oh, she went back under?
Yeah.
Okay.
She's watching.
All right, cool. Come on, guys. Uh-oh, that's kind of a bad place to land. So we wanted to give the cats a few minutes to not be annoyed by the bird and see what they'll do and how they respond. Hopefully they'll start fighting and doing crazy things. You want to go up just a hair on the video. Just go up a little bit, Megan. Not like that. That's forward. I meant up. You would think that Colby would want to get up in one of those small boxes.
I know, but she's gonna be more timid about it.
You suppose she would let me go and pick her up and put her on top or something?
Yeah, probably. Callie, it's not just your house. It's not.
See,
Pouncer.
that's, no, don't do that, Pouncer. That's one of our problems is that they like scratching the couches and the chairs.
Oh, but see, look, he can like stand all the way up.
Yes, do it. That's perfect, because he can totally get up there.
And that other one was too short for him. We thought we got the tallest single little pole thing.
Pouncer's so big that we need a really big station to keep him entertained.
And they do go outside. We didn't really talk about that, but they are outside, but it's so cold right now and there's a lot of snow on the ground, so they don't go out as much as they normally would. Come here. Do you want to try it? Come here.
She says no.
She's like, nope. Come on.
The other cats are watching you.
I know. Come on, Colb. Come here. Come try it.
Do you want me to go around back and force her out?
I can get her. I was just going to try and be nice. See. Hi.
She's got to be about I think she's probably about a half the size of Pouncer.
Yeah. She's like 5 pounds probably.
So you got to put her all the way at the top probably.
Way at the top.
Otherwise, she's not going to know that, well, you could put her in that little house.
Here. Why don't you go in here? Look.
She'll
See?
like it, I bet.
I know. It's your own little spot. You can hide. Oh, see? Look.
This is probably the most we've ever worked to try to entertain our cats.
Yeah. Oh,
See, back underneath. I knew that was going to happen. But I bet about 1 o'clock in the morning, these guys are going to be going nuts playing with this thing. Because that's about the time they really start getting crazy and just chasing each other and doing like nutty, stupid things.
All over every chair and
yeah, but that would be kind of a bad thing if they knock it over. So we may have to tie it to the. We may have to tie it to the railing or some such thing.
Maybe.
Ooh, she has something. Let's check what that is real quick.
It's a sticker.
Oh, it's a sticker?
Or.
No, it's a gross Band-Aid from the children. That's always fun.
Callie, what are you doing?
She's just being a superstar.
Yep.
Okay, so I think that you guys wanted to see cats, and this is what you get when you ask for cats. So that being said, some of you guys also want to see our storage for the planes. The cats are just they're gonna do what they want. That's the beauty of cats, is that you don't really get to tell them what to do. They just do it. And they don't really care if you're trying to film a video or not.
Nope.
So I guess we'll have to kind of wait and see. Maybe we'll kind of push this back into its normal sort of pseudo resting place for now. And then we're gonna go see the storage in the basement. And then maybe you and I can set up some sort of a time lapse for the people. Oh, except they're gonna be right there next to that plant.
And the edge.
You mean the edge down there?
Yeah.
Oh, they don't care. They crawl right on the edge all the time. So, I mean, just because it's a 20-foot fall doesn't mean that the cats are scared. They're more crazy then.
I'm scared for the cats.
I'm not really scared. They fly. So, without further ado, we're going to do that, but we're going to stop and come right back. Okay, so the basement. Come into the lair. This is our basement. If you guys watched the build video on our house, then you'll be able to see some of these details. We have an unfinished basement, so it's not very exciting, but we finished a couple of weird details. Not that it really matters, but the point is we're downstairs now. So that's why it looks weird and unfinished, because it's a basement. So that being said, storage for airplanes is a huge deal. Come on into the storage realm. This was covered on the floor all the way down there until now. You can see, we can see the floor in most areas. And yes, we do have rugs and carpet on the floor because we don't really care. It's just nice when you come down here with socks. This is one of the areas that I work. You'll notice the rinky-dink lighting is just, that's what you do when you're not quite ready for putting in permanent lighting. And this is just a carpet square and a simple piece to extend my simple. This was all made from garbage, literally garbage or leftovers or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. We have a little bit more storage over here, but this isn't airplane storage. The point is we have a little workspace. If you guys saw our channel from when we were in our other home, we had walls of pegboard and we had lots of tools. So obviously this is part of the reason why we haven't shown everything, because it's just a mess.
Yep.
It's not bad. I can still get things done. This has actually been a really nice rendition. We added this thing. It took me and my son, I think my son was helping me. We spent, I don't know, maybe 3 hours or 4 hours. Just one night, we just kind of hung up stuff, and we used nuts to space these things out from the studs. And that's made a huge improvement, because then I can run down here and grab tools quick if I need to. And then I used to have all this stuff set up on another extension of the bench, but now it's on my table saw, which is a real pain in the neck. But anybody who has a hobby shop versus a real shop versus a metal shop versus a mechanic shop understands that they're four totally different things. And that's one of the reasons why this has been such a struggle. I said I would share this with you. And so part of the reason we haven't really shared it with you is because we're not done. But a shop is never really done. One other thing too that works nice when you're starting to set up your shop is you can take furniture from your kids when you realize you don't want a piece of furniture. It works really nice, and then you can get more storage. Okay, so that all works together to get us down there, which is where the airplanes are. And I know that's what you guys want to see, but the shop was the other flip side of the coin everybody's been asking about for a long time. We haven't set this up nearly as advanced, partially because we also have another building we're thinking about building. And at this point, we're taking bids from 3 different companies, and we're not sure which one's going to end up working with us or if we're just going to kind of scrap the whole plan. Everything is really expensive right now. We had a big derecho that went through Iowa, and I don't know if you guys know what that is, but it's like an inland hurricane, and it tore through central Iowa. And some of these beautiful areas got hit really bad. It wasn't just central Iowa. It went all the way, well, it went through 5 states, right?
It started in South Dakota and
yeah,
went
so it was
all the
huge.
way. Yeah.
But it was in the central band of Iowa is where the most damage was. We lucked out. We only had a little bit of tree damage. But as a result, that means that the metal buildings and steel buildings have been, or steel and post frame buildings have been really torn up a lot. And we're in a farming area, so there's a lot of people that need buildings fixed. So it's driven up the price, and then COVID has also driven up the price of lumber from the lumber mills in Canada. So basically, we're kind of at a tough spot because we sort of want to have the building built, but we don't really know if it's the right time, and that all impacts the way we're going to manage our space. So for those of you who keep asking repeatedly, what do I do for storage? It's always in progress because we're always bringing in new stuff, and we're not really bringing out old stuff. That's one of my problems. When they crash, they go here. Don't give them a close-up. There's a lot of planes in there. I don't really want to necessarily go through all of that because it's not necessarily what I'm doing here. We have the EC-1500, which you guys have seen. And then right here on this shelf, I keep the manuals for planes. And then this is the prints for my real plane that I got from one of my subscribers. Well, I bought it, but it was very economical. And so these are the actual plans for the actual plane with actual handwritten notes about how it was constructed, and that's pretty cool. The Ultrix, the X450, and I'm not going to go through every plane, but just I want an open shelf for, you know, like the plane that's being processed right now. We have windsocks. Also, John has sent me a few, and so thank you, John. That's good whenever I talk about my sack getting ripped. We have this little delightful pile of planes, the F4u Corsair. Just to give you an idea of how huge that is, 1,700 millimeters is huge. Okay, you can hang this a bunch of different ways. I found that certain planes are better served on the floor until you figure out something different. You'll notice that that's the really fairly recently reviewed Messerschmitt 262 by Dynam. Turned out actually to be a really pretty good plane. We had some problems in the build, but good plane. Look how big it is. It's almost as big as a 1,700 millimeter.
Yeah.
This is a 1,500 millimeter, but that's a 1,500 millimeter. And just look at the size difference. That is a big plane, okay? But that's not anywhere near as big as those. Those are both twin planes, but these big props take up a lot of room. And also, foamies have a thing about the way that you can hang them. There's a bunch of different ways you can hang them. People have asked, you know, can you hang them by the landing gear? And I mean, you can ask me, you can ask anybody. Yeah, you can sometimes hang them by the landing gear, and some people will hang them flat on a wall. And I used to hang them from the ceiling down, but you'll notice that we have drywall on the ceiling. Part of the code issues is that there was a fire code change when we built this house, and so we had to do drywall as a fire break on all but 80 square feet of our ceiling, which is why we only have part of it opened. That was a huge pain in the neck. I wanted this all opened. I didn't want to have to tear it all down. They also had to do this big bulkhead, which was a real pain in the neck for the guys that were building. And we didn't want it there because an HVAC bulkhead just makes it harder when we do finish the basement. I wanted to be able to run can lights and all that stuff and get power from where our breaker panel is all the way. The other thing too is the floor here was totally covered there and a little bit on the benches until about 2 weeks ago. Why 2 weeks ago? Because I had Christmas break off, so I spent some time working on it. And as you can see, we've got tons of little planes. Here's a Beaver, okay? Planes, Train Stars. We just reviewed this indoor flying plane, Mini Aero Scouts. We've got a Valiant here. If you guys haven't seen that yet, it's not impossible that this would hit before this releases. I kind of doubt it. This one just released today. Well, we've had it for a few weeks now, but it was an early release. So the T-28, beautiful plane. Really, 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 really good. And very economical. Also, the Valiant is very economical too. So if you guys are looking for a cheap plane that's good, this is a very good plane. It takes a little bit more skill. This is a lot easier to fly than that, which doesn't seem like it should be that big of a difference. This has flaps and it's, you know, tricycle. It should be easy, right? Well, it's not hard. It's just, that's really easy plane to fly. That plane is not a really easy plane to fly, but it flies good.
Yeah.
That plane is challenging to fly too, just because it's Dynam and it's, you know, it's got the Dynam thing. Okay, so right here we've got the ASW-28. I have built, I'm on my third, this is the third one. We did all sorts of mods on this thing. We extended all the control surfaces, and people gave me endless crap about how much time I wasted on that, and I did waste a ton of time on it, but this plane flies so much better than what it came with. I mean, I went so far as to put these pads, show the people, with your fingers. That's texture. Grab it.
Oh, that's right.
That's because
that.
we had to take the wings off.
Yeah.
And then we like glued these together so that it was super easy to take things on and off.
That's right.
We redid all the servos on the fuse, but we didn't redo the servos on here. If I recall, we did Metal Gear servos, like Emax servos. But we made this plane stand. So you guys are wanting to see storage. You see what I did here? This is a block of 6x6, and I used foam and dowels. Those are glued in and painted just so it's pretty. This is back when I had time on my hands. Now I don't so much. You see how this says left and it's got arrows? That reminds me which way to put it, because if you stick it in the wrong hole, sometimes there's problems. So as you can see, this just goes on there, and I don't know if I'm like, it's been a while since I've actually taken this one out. And people ask me all the time, I had that in the wrong hole, that's why. That says left. Yep, see how nice that fits? It's a very good fit. And this heavy block I put I actually drilled out big holes and put nuts in there, and then I use these as the leveling feet. Okay, because I just had a lot of that size. This is a grounding rod, it has nothing to do with the planes. But the ASW, you notice I've got a rubber band holding the prop so it doesn't get in the way. That's a very concise package though, because that's a 2.6 meter plane. So step back a little bit and show them just how big it is compared to me. One of the big issues with this plane and this style of storage is that you take up the whole wall space, but you have a very narrow spot where it actually sits. So if you had like a weird, you know, like almost like a coat closet size storage, this would work really good because look how narrow it is. It's really not that big. That's probably only about, I would say 4 feet. So you could put that in a closet, okay, without disassembling it fully. You only have to take one wing off to do that. It's really nice. And the wing comes off super easy. It's got this little clip here. Sailplanes are some of the worst planes to store because they're so big, but they're also some of the best planes to store because they are designed to come apart once you build them. Like this Phoenix, look how nice this is. I have this designed with extension cables. See? See how easy that is?
Yep.
I don't even have to take the wires undone. I pull them out, but that's it. And this is the 2 meter, the Phoenix V2. There's also a 1.6 and there's a bunch of other smaller sizes which we might review in the future. That's the 2.6 version. And that also is buildable in a 1.6 meter. So that's a 2.6 and 1.6 meter in the same kit. You just pick which one you want to do. The other thing you can do with these that works really nice is if you have a block of wood like this, that's just 6x6. And I get it from cribbing between decks of truck scales. When they ship the truck scales, we get tons of stuff like that. So I just end up with it from scrap because we have to pull it off the scales when we give them delivered. And you can drill holes the same size as this, and you can slide them into a heavy piece of cribbing like that, or shoring, or whatever you want to call it. You can also use the foam that you get from your airplanes, but it's so light you have to almost put like sandbags and things in it. And then this works really nice because you can stab it in there and it'll hold it in just the perfect position. I found that this works really nice just on the ground because it keeps the foam off of the concrete, and then it puts the plastic and the foam on, it keeps the foam from hitting, but it does touch plastic and metal, okay? And you can see that it just leans up nicely. Sometimes the simplest thing to do is the best for storage. And if you really want to get this tight and take up even less space, you can kind of nest the wings in such a way that they take up the same space. It just looks more sloppy that way, so I choose not to do that. And 2 rubber bands hold between the control surfaces. Okay, so just a couple of quick ideas. I like leaving my planes as much together as I can tolerate.
Yeah.
Because if I want to come down and fly this Carbon Z Cub, the Carbon Z Cub is one of the worst planes for storage. It's probably the fatal flaw on this plane, is just its sheer size. But let's just be honest with you. Look how hard it was to store that. I can take this out. I can be flying in 2 minutes, okay? You see what I did with that piece of foam there? Mm-hmm. That just happens to be mounted into a bulkhead. So I just drilled through a 2x4 and I used some carbon fiber spars, and then I have foam just to protect the wings. Yes, I did crash this one into the power lines. I don't often talk about it because, you know, people are like, oh, you shouldn't be flying around power lines. And I'm like, you know what? I just don't agree. So get over it.
Whoops, you're going to lose your foam.
Yeah, I know.
Let me grab it.
I'm caught on one of my struts.
Oh.
So as you can see, it's not like the perfect solution, and there isn't really a perfect solution. It's just such a big plane. And you see what's going to happen there is if you don't put a piece of foam in here, it's going to kind of push that nose into the plywood. Okay. So once you get that in there where you like it, you kind of got to watch for servos and stuff. Like this flap servo is right there. And so you need to be careful that you don't jab into your servos when you store a plane like this. But that's going to help to make the surface area a lot bigger having a piece of foam like this. And those carbon fiber spars are not necessarily carbon fiber spars. They're actually just fiberglass poles. I got these from a manufacturing plant. It was like a garbage thing. Same thing with these. This did not work great, okay? I did 2 of those and I just put a bunch of zip ties to hold them together for this T28. It's so light that you can get away with it. And then I just ran the nut. The nut catches the edge of the shelf, okay? And then you can see we got tons of floats there. Floats are another thing that's very hard to store, okay? So I sort of love float planes, but since we don't have a pond yet, we can't really use them yet. So this is the floats for the Carbon Z Cub. And so our intentions were to fly it off of water, and we just get so busy because by the time we pack up and go somewhere, it's just not efficient for us.
Yep.
Also, people are always asking about snow flights. The snow ops on the EC1500 would be super easy because it does come with these, which is really cool. And it's got the 2 main ones and then there's the nose gear. So you actually, and then this rib helps to give you some steerability, which is pretty cool. So I don't know, it'd be cool, and a lot of people have been asking for that, so we'll try to do it at some point, but it's just not been a big priority because we've had so many new aircraft that we want to review. The old F14, that's a Hobby King delight. We did that red plane the other day, super fun. That little P-51 my grandpa built, another mini Aero Scout. P-51, T-720, the little Warbird series, 400 millimeters. This one's actually a little bit bigger, I think. No, it is 400 millimeters. Mm-hmm. These things are great little planes and very inexpensive. And, you know, we've really had a good time. You'll notice the gear pulled off of this. My son was flying this. And it's just super fun and really easy to get in the hobby with. Very easy to fix, you know, like when you crash and the pops off. Super easy to get on there. We link to this stuff like in virtually every video. It's just one of those everydays. There's a 750 millimeter P-51. I actually don't like that plane as much. It's one of the worst flying P-51s I have, but it still flies good, okay? You'll notice that the small planes get piled up a lot. Well, what happens is when you have nicer, bigger planes, you tend to fly those a lot more. These ones are showcased to help people understand what's out there. Not necessarily like the J20. This one is one of the best little twin engine. It's also really expensive, which is stupid. That red one also is a twin engine. We just reviewed it. There's also a Duet down there. One of the worst planes you can buy. Don't buy the Duet, which is funny because it's Horizon plane, and I really like Horizon. They do a good job, but that's one of the worst planes you can get. It's just going to frustrate you to death. If you want a twin engine, differential thrust oriented plane, these ones are way better. And this one is the worst example because it's so expensive. And I think it's because the Chinese have to pay royalties when they're making a Chinese aircraft. So that's the only thing I can figure out. But super fun. This one flies great. I don't know why. It's just a lot more expensive. We haven't actually reviewed that one yet. We had a problem with the transmitter on that one, so we're going to be reviewing it when we get a replacement. That red plane, that Pitts, is one my grandpa built, and so I've just not gotten around. I actually crashed it in a video, and it was a bad video, so we just didn't really do much with it, but it's an old video. If you want to see it, you can find it. The J3 Cub, this plane, this plane is the XK plane, and if you get that plane, make sure you get the rudder hole position in the middle, because if you try to do it in the wrong hole, it will not work. It will crash and tail loop on you crazy. Again, differential thrust, no pesky elevator, just kind of a fun little thing, more of a toy grade, but look how much less scale and awesome this looks than the J20. I feel like it's just so much better. And then we've got the A100 up here. We've got the F16. The A100, I believe, is an SU-27 or something like that. Really cool plane, but just you know, like, you fly them a couple of times. It's not like you're going to sit there and that's the only plane you have. If it's the only plane you have, believe me, you're just new in this hobby. You're new in the addiction. It's going to get worse. You're going to have a lot more planes, so storage is going to become an issue. The good news is with these little ones, they store really easy because they're so small. And by the way, this is not all the planes. We have more upstairs. So obviously the Pitts, this is one of the worst to store too. It's big. It's not just big, but it's big, and it's big, and then the tail's also big. So we did this system, which worked really nice. The reason I like this system so much, this is kind of what we did before. If you want to give them a close-up shot of that, I used 2 U-bolts and then this little spreader thing, and I put a bunch of heat shrink over it, and then I have one single screw that goes up there. And you see how easy it was to get in there. Now that thing could be allowed to pivot if we decided to do that. So I'll just show you how this works. Not all planes are capable of being hung up like this, but the biplanes tend to do okay with that style of hook. I used to have planes stacked about 8 deep, and I was literally running out of headspace. It was so frustrating because I would work and I'd have to duck like this. And at the time I was wearing headgear, I would film and I'd just get like neck aches. It kind of ruined my shop, actually. It was cool when you walked in, it looked like an explosion of planes, but this is stressful, you know, to just like be around them because you don't want to bump into them. So one of the worst planes to store further, look how big this joiner rod is. It's gigantic, okay? This is the 3-meter FMS, but I can have that together in about 2 minutes. I mean, probably less. And there's no cables to manage. I've got the wings from Bird of Time, and then of course the 2.5-meter ASW-17. I actually fly the sailplanes quite a bit on my own. It's one of my favorite things to fly, which is funny because I always say that and then I find myself flying everything else too. But I really enjoy sailplanes and I really enjoy slope soaring. It's just hard to come by a slope around here in Iowa because we're in the plains.
Yep.
There are some areas that we found, but it's generally controlled by the Army Corps of Engineers, which means you can't fly there. You can fly in and then fly legally, but you have to fly out and then land off-site. So it's challenging. Or you have to get permission, which you can't get permission.
Right. Hey, that thing that the FMS is in is like an old clothing stand.
It's a clothing
like
stand.
Super cheap.
Yeah, so
And
what
we took the top off.
Well, my camera crew complained for months, like, why, you're never going to use that thing. And I had it, and I said, yes, I will. And so you can see the other half of it stuck into the ceiling up there next to the exhaust. Yep. This is the exhaust for the furnace. It sticks out that side, and so it was just one of those hangers that you can, you know, put hangers on and just kind of move it around. You put your, you know, wedding dress and your tux and you know, just the stuff you take out for your funerals or whatever. And so I just took it in half. And so this worked out really nice. And you see how these planes are really easy to get out. So like this one was super easy to do. I used the wing joiner, and because this FMS is really, it's a high quality plane. You see how it's plastic here? There's nothing to lose by putting pressure on that.
Right.
Okay. So you could also take and you could drill into like a 6x6, like I said, and that 6x6 would have to be pretty heavy. You'd have to probably add some weight to it or have like a longer log. You can drill and then you can stick a number of these in. So I really like that solution. It worked really well. And then of course we got lots of wings on there too. But like this plane, I wanted to have the wing straight up, but it was so tall that I couldn't actually put it onto here because this joiner rod is so big. Look at this. See how tall that is? This is just an awesome plane, and it's so cool. Look how huge that is, guys. I'm 6 foot tall. It's not like small. So that's one thing you really seriously have to consider. And then I know it's not probably like maybe the coolest way to store this, because you could do cooler things so that it looks cooler. Like if it was like up in your living room on the wall as a display, that'd be pretty awesome. But you'd have to have a pretty understanding wife, and I have one of the most understanding wives, and she won't let me do it.
Still aren't doing that.
So there you go. So then this, one of my big goals this Christmas. By the way, if you guys watched that whole cat video, then it was probably not as exciting as I had hoped it might turn out, but whatever. I think they're going to like that thing.
Yeah.
But I know some of you guys have a lot of like UMX planes and different cases and things. Like that's a Vapor, UMX Vapor. Then we have 2 Sport Cubs. We have the original one. My grandpa had given me one also. And then we have one that we reviewed from Horizon. And I also had a third one when I was first starting to fly. And we flew it so much that I burned up 7 motors. That was like once every other week or every week for about 10 weeks. And then I took the Habu UMX, which had safe, and I tore the board out, which is vertical, and I installed it in there, and it didn't have 2 integral servos, so I had to add 2 servos for the rudder and the elevator. And I got that thing to fly, and it had a brushless motor, and it was really cool because there was a brushless ESC on that Habu, vertically mounted board. So anyway, that thing's been dead for some time. And then I have a couple of drones here, quads, and then I have some FPV gear. I know a lot of you guys talk to, you know, hey, why don't you do FPV? Well, because I don't have a 107, Part 107 license, and I don't want to get that. So maybe someday we will. The MAL, the Airbus A33600. This is one of the originals. This is the Sport Cub, excuse me, the Super Cub, and it's highly modified. It's got like an 850 kV brushless motor on it, a Hobby King thing. I've actually caught this plane on fire a few times. Emax servos, very good. Flaps, obviously redone a bunch of stuff. You can tell I don't really take this one out too much because those like to get dry and brittle. We added LEDs, of course. This is back when I did really, really good work. But the thing is, I learned to fly with this thing, and I legitimately learned to fly. In fact, this is probably the reason you're watching the channel right now, because this plane, one of the early flights went viral. The video went viral. We've got like 33 million views on this video. So we can thank, I mean, after that, my wife was like, you can spend whatever you want on airplanes. So it was a really good thing.
She was?
She did. She did. So we've got the BF1, what's that, the 110?
That's a 110.
Then we have the Grand Cruiser. It's all fixed up, ready to fly again. You guys may have noticed that it crashed in both videos I put up about it, but that's okay. It's all part of the show. This is just a gorgeous plane, and it flies really good. It's a Dynam. Again, huge pain to build. Flies really good. One of the better flying planes. The twin Otter, I don't fly this one much, mostly because I got it and it was really cold. And so we flew it a few times for videos, and then we just got super busy. Great flying plane, kind of like the
Valiant?
The Valiant, in that it's not as easy as you think it would be because it's got a narrow wing chord. So it's got long wings, but they're narrow. It's not hard to fly, it's just not super easy. Same thing with the P39. The P39's got split flaps, and I feel like the split flaps don't perform as well as the P51 1.2 meter. This is the new June Night. I finally got rid of my Blondie, which was beautiful with the red tail and everything. I love that color scheme. This livery is good too, but it's just not maybe my favorite because I liked the red a lot. I mean, this is a beautiful plane, don't get me wrong. It looks gorgeous in the air. Probably one of the best 1.2 meter warbirds out there is right here, okay? Yeah, I'd say it's better than that, but this one's a little bit easier for people that don't know how to fly with a tail dragger. It handles the P factor a lot better. This plane also tends to fly a little bit faster, I think. And it lands and flies as fast or slow as you want, which is really cool. Also, the landing gear, very robust on that. A lot better than the T28, which is, where's the T28? The T28, did I?
The big T28? Oh, it's behind you.
The
You haven't gotten to it yet.
Oh, there it is.
Yep.
So here's the 1.2 meter T28. It's got retracts. I've fixed them a million times. I landed this most recently, the last time I kind of flew it. We've added lights and LEDs in a lot of these models. But on this one, I was flying it with a 5,000 milliamp 3S, and I was going in for a landing, and I was doing touch and goes, and I forgot and retracted my gear while I was going down instead of retracting the flaps. And so I lost a prop and I damaged the motor. I just haven't gotten around to messing with it. It's working, but it just doesn't work as good as it did before I screwed it up. This is the Night Timber X. I do not have the leading edge slats on it. I wish I would have done it, but it does store a little bit easier. As you can see with these models, the thing that's nice is, like, say I want to get down the 1.5 meter P51. That's a big bird. It takes a lot of room on the ground. But if you can get it up in the air, you'll notice the tail is touching the ceiling. Mm-hmm. If I need to get to that plane, I'd probably have to take 2 down. But virtually any other plane in here, I can get down without touching the other planes. Now, this is another PT-17. We'll just keep going through the list. PT-17, beautiful plane, pain to build, but actually not as bad as some of them. That would probably be like the Messerschmitt, the ME-262 was fairly good. And then this one would have been probably the next. But that was still a humongous pain. Hated building it. Love flying it. Flies really good. Yep. Really good. Plug and fly is not lost on Dynam, by the way. If you're going to buy a Dynam, they're close enough. Oh, by the way, 810, duh. I didn't mention the 810.
You skipped that one.
This thing is not the Free-wing one. The Free-wing one over there sucks. Horrible plane. This plane is awesome. 110 miles of pure delight. And it's not a huge task to get the battery in. Now, it's not easy because it's got a real narrow body still. But that thing, you'll spend an hour getting a battery in just to crash it immediately and have problems. Now, I will also say that if you're a skilled pilot, that one's easier to fly. At the time I got it, I was probably maybe not a good enough pilot. So I'd probably do better with it now, but still, it's a 4S configuration. This is 6S. Yeah. And the 6S makes a huge difference. I can float that on my finger. You know, I can give it throttle and it'll stick on my finger. That, no way, not even close.
Hey, wait, before you go to that, do you want to show them like what these little things are that are holding up the planes?
Yeah, there's a variety of different things here. We'll just take this one off because it's easy to see. Yeah. So if I want to fly, it's not, I'm not saying it's easy to get them all out.
Nope.
But the key is I can get that out and I can fly that. So you want to show them a close up. They're not all like that. They're brackets that I used to get as extras from an installation kit that we would do for forklift scales. And I work on industrial scales, and one of the functions of my job is to install these scales. And so I would use, like, whatever bracket I used would go onto the machine, and then the bracket that we didn't use would just get discarded. And so after, like, I mean, you have to kind of be a little bit creative on what you're going to use. You see what I'm running into here?
Yeah, what are you actually running into?
I'm running into the servo. Part of the problem is when you get them real tight like this, you'll occasionally run into a situation where, like, I'm not actually lined up at the right spot.
You're hitting your wheel over here.
Turn it. Go ahead and turn it. There you go. Thank you. That helped a lot. I don't know if I'm in the right spot, but you can see kind of what I ran into there. And so what's going to happen is you have to be a little bit careful about what plane goes above what plane. See, now it's in. Yep. The servos for the flaps get in the way of this hanging mechanism. So 16-inch on center studs work kind of nice because most fuselages will fit, even on the big planes like the P-51, but sometimes you have to spin props to fit through. And this is a weird wall because it's like a pony wall. It's not a full wall. And then other planes need more room. Like, for instance, that plane on the bottom is the
air tractor.
The air tractor, and it's just got a really long wingspan. It's a 1,500 millimeter, but it's not a narrow chord. It takes up a lot of room. That would be well served to be hung on the wall, but because we did this storage technique, it worked really nice. We had these, what is that called?
It's like ladder ball.
It's like ladder ball, yeah. Yeah. And I wanted my son to be able to quickly come down and get planes when he's flying. So the Apprentice Mini, which is one of his favorite ones to fly right now, that's really comfortable for him, is up top. And then, of course, the Carbon Cub S, or excuse me, the Carbon Cub S2.
Yes.
Yes, is right here. And then you can see it's not like you have to touch 2 planes to get these off, but that's literally all you have to do. Then underneath, the planes that are going to be gotten out less frequently are right here. So like the ASH-26 here is just upside down and backward, which is kind of frustrating because it's such a beautiful plane, and it's one of the most expensive planes I have, actually, out of all these planes, even including the most expensive recent Horizon ones, because I've got probably $500 in that plane, which is expensive for the size class that I fly. And as you can see, you have to kind of put it together. It's a composite body and a balsa built up wing. And then of course down here is the fuselage for the 2.6 meter wing that you see up along the wall. The Lancaster is right here. This thing was a turd. It's always been a turd. It's never flown good. The SIG made this Duinger 216, which is a German plane that my grandpa built. I mean, it's an American kit, but it's a German plane. It's modeled after a German plane. And it's a twin, and it does fly very good. I crashed that because I had my aileron controls backward. I crashed it into a curb on the maiden, and my grandpa had to fix it. And so the one wing has a little bit of a bulge. But I mean, I like legit crashed and destroyed it on the first flight. It felt super bad. But my grandpa and I, before he passed away, we used to really enjoy doing this together. And he would build them and I would help him to electrify them and make them fly. Same thing with this Dynaflight Bird of Time. We already saw the wings over there. It's a huge plane. It's like 116-inch wingspan. So it's just gigantic. And so, of course, I put a big motor on it, and people gave me crap about that because it's like, you know, oh, that should be a pure glider, whatever, you know. If you got a place to pure glide, great. So as you can see, you can get to these planes. They're a little bit harder to get to, but they're the planes that I don't use as frequently. So it's not a big deal. Like the Lancaster, you know, I'm just probably not going to fly it much. The F-18, gorgeous plane. The Futura, amazing plane. Awesome fun. Low stress, high energy. It's hard to find a combination that good. Cirrus SR-22Ts discontinued right now. I'm assuming that means they're probably upgrading the receiver, and that's going to be re-released is my expectation. Again, that's just my thoughts. That's not Horizon speaking. Just because I work with some of these companies does not mean I know everything I want to know. This is a Sunbird. I've obviously highly modified it. It's got split flaps, ailerons. It does crow. It's got LEDs. Doesn't look like it, but there are LEDs that are like right here. The F4u Corsair 1.2 meter, very good plane. You can see how I needed to kind of use this weird area where this is called a stack, where the drain pipes from this side of the house go down and then they go into the ground and then they go over and then they meet up with another stack over there from the kitchen and then they go out to the septic system. So I wanted to use the same configuration where I would use zip ties around the studs. The thing's nice about that is I have adjustability, so I can move them slightly up or slightly down, and they just use big zip ties, and I just tweak them with a pair of side cutters and really torque them down nicely. The V1200 here, this actually took a position from another plane, so it's actually not sized exactly for the V1200, but you can see one of the dilemmas with this is that they can slide off, but they almost never do. The only time I have problems with them sliding off is if I am, you know, like nose to nose, like I've got going on over here. Occasionally you'll catch one with a prop or something like that, or like a landing gear bump. The Night Timber X almost fell off. That's the closest I've gotten to losing a plane doing this, and I've been doing it for years like this. The T-28, I'm sorry, not the T-28, that's the
T4.
AT7. Oh, T7.
It's the Texan.
It's a T7. Yeah, I think it's a T7. I might be saying that wrong.
That's not right.
I'm second guessing myself. It's the Texan.
Yeah, I know.
And then the Habu STS, which is a smart trainer. Gorgeous plane. Guys, that plane is easier to fly than that Carbon Cub. The original Carbon Cub S1 was a little bit lighter on its feet. I think it did better. This plane is gorgeous. If you're wanting to learn to fly, it's definitely in the spectrum. And it's a low wing tricycle, which you would think that's not maybe the best choice. That plane, 3S, as it comes, you know, ready to fly, gorgeous way to learn to fly. And you're like, but it's an EDF, Brian. That is not going to teach you to fly an EDF, though. It's going to teach you to fly or help you to learn to fly. It'd be a great second plane. First plane, maybe. if you're a good pilot, or if you've flown like the Sport Cub S UMX, you know, in real calm conditions, this thing just needs a little bit more room. And if you're in safe, it needs a lot more room. The F-16, 70 millimeter, or is that? Yeah, it's 70 millimeter. Beautiful. The 64 millimeter version of that, and then the F-15 I haven't reviewed. I'd like to review them. I probably will review them at some point. They're supposed to be really popular, but I have a thing for retracts on jets. So honestly, I wouldn't have picked the 64 millimeter because I just think jet scale lines just go bye-bye when you have gear sticking down. So, but that being said, if you hand launch, like if you're flying from a grass field and you're just landing in the grass, it works great. Like that F-14, I wanted so badly to do like robust retracts and some sort of cool, you know, like whatever. I ended up having I think I have a 9-channel or 10-channel radio in there. No, I have an 8-channel. And I use all the channels, and that thing flies without a stabilizer, and it flies fast, and it's really fun to watch. But it's also one of these planes that's like kind of scary to watch because you just know something's about to break all the time. And I crashed it for a fire department one time we were flying, and I get endless crap because, oh, you can't fly at that site or whatever. Well, first of all, that other site was an AMA-approved site, just so you know. I don't talk about that stuff much because I don't want to cause controversy. But the fire department pulls up, and I'm like, oh, great, I'm in trouble. Well, anyway, the fire department, they all pool out of their truck, and they're like, no, we're not here. You're not in trouble. We just came to watch. So I crashed that F-14 for them. That was fun. And then they let the kids come in and see the fire.
Give them stickers and
yeah, it was really cool. It was just like our own little private party with the fire department. This is a 1.5 meter turbo timber, beautiful plane. This is not seen very much airtime because I had my 1.5 meter timber and I loved it, but just we've been super busy, so I haven't flown it a lot. I haven't even put the floats on yet, but I have tons of floats there, so I do have float sets. At some point, we'll get that done. This is a SIG 4-star. Beautiful plane. We have that set up for flaperons. The full length, that means inboard and outboard, work together, and you get good flap action out of that. So if you do full length flaperon, you'll get good performance. It's almost like having an inboard flap. Very good plane. I think we have a Lemon RX in there, 7-channel with stabilization, which used to be my go-to receiver if I wasn't doing a bind and fly with Spectrum. Okay, now that Spectrum has released a whole new line of receivers, and so they're going to start coming out, and some of the smart telemetry is starting to get to the point where I actually want it. Like for instance, seeing what the cell by cell voltages are and the telemetry will send feedback is so nice. It's something we didn't have before. Like on the AR636B, the early revisions of the A's did not have telemetry for pack voltage, but they did have telemetry for the receiver voltage. Well, it doesn't do you much good because, like, what are you going to stop flying a 3S or 4S configuration by, you know, knowing that you're low on your receiver pack? If you're low on your receiver pack, you're already screwed. So, because, you know, you're talking about being in the 10-something volt range, and the BEC is on the other side of that circuit. So it's like a totally different power circuit. And the main electronic speed control is what runs the power supply for the motor, okay? So if you lose your motor, you're screwed, or you just dead stick land. Anyway, getting back to the point, A10, that thing sucked. It was still pretty cool at the time, and it is a beautiful plane. Beautiful, gorgeous plane. Sounds great. It's got 12-bladed fans. Just looks beautiful. Might be 11-bladed fans. I'm not going to count them for you. FMS. I did this myself a long time ago. I believe that one's a 1.5 meter. Really cool. They also made a Blink, I think is what it's called. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. It has a really straight wing, slight dihedral, almost totally flat. And they did Red Bull did like stunts with it. It was a glider. So I would like to get that sometime, FMS. If somebody knows which one it is, let me know in the comments below. This FMS glider was great, that Mini Moa. And I love that plane. I've slope soared with it. It's really fun. I've lost parts off of it and then got them out of trees and stuff, which is cool because I love that plane. I have crashed it multiple times. I do have crow and flaps and LEDs I've added. Really like that plane. Very good. Conchendo S, this is the first generation, so that's got full safe on it. I have added flaps, and the flaps are sharing the available channel for turning safe on and off. I use half of the channel for that control. With full safe, you have intermediate, beginner, and advanced. and then you have one other function, and I forget what it is. But anyway, I stole one of the other functions. So you actually use 2 channels for that. So I used the other channel, the panic channel. I used the bottom half of the channel, the pulse width modulation. As long as you stay away from this by a couple of clicks, then you're safe. And you can use that channel to conduct your flap operation. As long as you don't come up here, you don't have any problems. And I still had panic with safe. So I just went from, you know, beginner to advanced. It's no big deal. So advanced, of course, is just gonna be AS3X, and then beginner is going to be, you know, like safe select. So nowadays with safe select, there's actually things happening at the very top end of the channels that you can't get to. And so I didn't like that. And so the Lemon RX was nice for me because I was able to control the master gain on channel 8 and then the stabilizer on and off. But one of the fatal flaws in the Lemon 7 channel was stabilization. And I'm not talking about the auto leveling DSMP or whatever they did at Motion, which is probably not going to be around forever anyway. What happened was I wanted to be able to leave the stabilizer on all the time and save channel 5, so use it for another function. So that was one of the fatal flaws. But you can use the bind plug on the Lemon RX 7 channel with stabilization to get that extra channel, and people never knew that. So, well, I mean, people knew it if they looked into it. So I did a lot of cool things. Like on this, I think I have a Lemon RX 7 channel with stabilization. And I have other planes that have retracts, flaps, and like for instance, the Airbus A33600 has flaps, retracts. The Airbus A380, I had differential thrust, air brakes / spoiler-ons, which was a crow configuration, but it just looked like it was spoilers. And then I did not have a retracts on that. So you have to give something up somewhere along the way. Then we have the Hobby King EZO, which is 1500 millimeters, or excuse me, is that 1500? I think it's, yeah, I think it's 1500. That's actually a pretty fun little plane. It's not anything crazy, but it's a balsa built up, which is nice. They seem to hold up a lot better over time. There's the A800. It's one of my least favorite sailplanes. It's upside down there. Then the Arcus M that has a retractable motor assembly, also known as an RMS, I don't know, retractable motor system. Yeah, RMS. And so there's a prop that comes up and then it spins.
Oh, that's
and
right.
when it stops, it just stops wherever it's got braking. And so the blade is like this, and then when it drops down, it goes into a certain position. And then the doors close. Really cool idea. It never really worked that good.
No.
Okay. Then this is an ASW28 that I got from my friend Esteban, and that was like a Tower Hobbies product. Same thing with the Arcus M. The Arcus M, I originally flew it. It's the only plane I have that is currently using the DSMP, which is, it's a Lemon RX product that was supposed to have auto leveling. And what would happen is, if you would overdrive servos beyond 150% or like 125%, somewhere in that range, it would cause it to reset, and then you would lose control. And I flew that into a tree, and I couldn't believe it. It barely damaged the thing. And so I learned from that and just made some adjustments on the way. I flew the plane, and Esteban climbed the tree to get it for me, and then he got pulled over by the cops because I think he ran a stop sign, or he did one of these like not quite stopped, and he was all scratched up, looked like he robbed a store or something. It was hilarious. So anyway, this is the, that wing up there that you see that's red and yellow, that comes from a gentle lady. I don't know how big that is. I think it's about probably like 2.2 meter-ish size. Really good plane, 3-channel, just got the rudder and elevator and then the throttle. And very, very good. My grandpa built that. I'd like to some point maybe put some spoilers in there just so I can bleed off lift, because that thing will go and go and go and go and go and go and go, which is really cool. And by the way, I did add spoilers and LEDs to my Bird of Time. Those are spoiler-ons. So when I fly, I can roll the plane. In addition to, of course, the rudder is going to give you a lot of roll because of that polyhedral wing. A lot of people gave me crap about that one too, but I love the way that plane flew. And you could bring that thing down in no time. But that thing is another one that would just go and go and go, because if you can't spoil the lift, it will just go.
That was one of the first planes you ever flew here before we built.
It was that, and then the Phoenix.
Oh, was it?
Yep.
Yeah.
We did a couple others as well. Okay, so this is the Crescendo Evolution. Very good plane, very awesome, very similar to that, but I didn't add flaps to it. And the harder foam, if I haven't mentioned this, is really good for the high-speed flight characteristics, but it's also not very forgiving. If you're gonna catch and you miss and it falls, it's gonna break. You can still fix it really easy, but it's just kind of annoying that, you know, it's like you got a new plane, it's really beautiful. And like this S was really forgiving, and the Advance was a little bit less forgiving, but it would run on 3S. I never felt like you needed 3S on the Crescendo S. It was a 2S plane. And if you ran it on 3S, it would run, but it would melt the motor mount, okay? Then the Advance, you could run 3S or 2S. It had a metal motor mount. You didn't melt it. Then you go to the Crescendo Evolution, and it runs on 3 or 4S, and 4S is crazy. But, you know, it's one of those things. This was a Hobby King product, a Durafly, I think. And I forget what that one is. Sea Fury. Yep. Gorgeous, gorgeous plane. Flew like crap. Partly because I wasn't a very good pilot at the time. I could probably fly it just fine now, but the retracts were really finicky, and it had, you know, like sequencers for the inner gear door and outer gear door. It was just like bamboozled me. I thought it was the best thing ever. And not really super expensive, but real heavy. And that's one thing you find out real quick when you start flying Hobby King planes, is that they're very heavy and they're dense and they have high wing loading, which means they don't look good flying. They fly, and you can make them look good, but they don't fly as good. And I say they like a generic sense of Durafly, not they like everyone sucks. I've got a few Hobby King planes that have been great, and I have a lot of Hobby King planes that just didn't last very long. They're in the garbage now. And I don't throw anything away. Camera
That's
cruising.
true.
So anyway, that's the quick rundown. We have some more planes up in the office. Let's pause and we'll go look at those quick. Okay, so we have a citation longitude here. That's the display citation longitude that doesn't have the flap mod. And then this is the one that has the flap mod. And that plane is awesome. I added flaps. I was able to do it with the stock receiver. I unplugged the rudder servo. And just so you know, the AS3X, if you're running AS3X or safe in this case, the yaw will cause the flaps to change condition in the takeoff setting, but not the landing setting. So anyway, if you ever do that, and then the other thing I did on this that was really cool is I ended up using the rudder servo, and I controlled it with the ailerons. So it was like a rudder to aileron mix, and I just made this little clear piece of plastic that was triangular shaped, and I mounted it on the landing gear. And so when you would move the ailerons, it would move the nose wheel, and it would give you a coordinated turn, which is really nice. It kept that nose perfect when you were doing turns. Really, really, really cool. I love this plane, gorgeous plane. It is very loud because of the 30mm EDFs just scream. We did this little one the other day, the ZT model, and we just had its counterpart the other day, so not sure if that's been out yet, but really fun little plane, flies around inside good. Not maybe quite as good as like the Night Vapor. Of course, this one's a beautiful plane. Not the best flying plane I've ever had. I still feel like it flies too fast. High wing loading, beautiful details. This is the XPR, right? Or XRP.
I can never
remember.
Yeah.
But either way, it's Supreme Hobbies molds that they have basically, I don't know, sold or stolen or whatever. And so now you can get those again, because I believe, from what I understand, Supreme Hobbies is gone, like out of business, gone. One of the things about this is the shipping is really expensive because you have to ship directly from Hong Kong. And during COVID, that was really bad. Like to the tune of, I used to spend about $50 to $60 to ship direct from Hong Kong for something like this. I mean, if you're okay waiting 2 weeks. But I think I split with this guy, and it was like $100 for each of us. So It was like a $200 bill. I paid half of it for him. So this was a unique circumstance, and I really, really wanted to have this plane bad. Twin 50mm, beautiful plane. I got it flying, and then of course I used a Spectrum, was a 637T. This is one of my first ones.
Yep.
And just love the way that plane flew downstairs. But like I never could get this one flying quite right because I never did flaps yet. At some point, I actually have servos that I got sent to do this with some real small, like micro metal gear servos that are supposed to be used for the little helis that I review. and I was going to use those to make a 2-piece flap. So it's going to be a flap here and a flap here. That was one of the biggest complications I had on that Airbus A33600 when I did the flaps. I tried to make them all, together, and it was super hard to get all the geometry to work and to make that kind of like Fowler look to it. So when I do the flaps on this plane is going to be a great plane. Planes like this that have all these details and they fly like 450 miles an hour. I mean, it looks cool. It looks scale when it's going fast, because I mean, these things go like 500 miles an hour, 550 miles an hour in real life. But the thing is, you can't really enjoy it. It's like, it's so far away by the time you get by you. So you don't want a fast flying plane like that. You want it to be flying slow so it looks scale, like during a takeoff, during a landing. And of course, this got retracts, flashing lights, landing lights, all sorts of cool things. Very cool plane, pretty expensive by the time you pay shipping. JJRC MO2, one of my favorite VTOLs, a lot better than the Horizon one, which is weird because Horizon's usually my go-to. This plane is, it's a VTOL, so that means it takes off vertically, and then you can fly around like a quad, but it's actually got 3 motors, as you can see in these tip.
Cat.
But you can flip this and fly vertical, and then you can flip it, and then you can transition to a vertical forward-facing flight like an airplane. It works really good, and it's amazing to watch this transition like right in this living room. You can totally do it. Comes with everything you need. Fairly inexpensive, really cool plane. The planes that I keep up here are for twofold. So I have size examples, but also I really, really like the airliners. It's one of my favorites. We haven't actually reviewed this one yet. We got a mode 1 transmitter, so I just don't know how to fly mode 1, and I'm not going to try it because I'll probably get it eventually, but then I'm going to screw myself up and crash another plane as a result, and I'm not crashing a plane so I can fly this little Cessna for you. This thing seems like it's going to fly good, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Okay, so this is the 400 millimeter T-28. It's part of the Warbird series. They got the P-51, they got the F4u Corsair, and that's an E-Sheen. Really, really good plane, real inexpensive. One of my favorites, go-tos. Of course, one of the biggest drawbacks you get into these little planes like this is that they kind of like the really quick repairs and things like this. They got a little gearbox on there. They fly good. They'll fly up against the wind, which is one of the things that sets us apart from the Sport Cub SUMX. I feel like these things, with their stabilization auto leveling on, are really good. But if you shut them off and you want to fly them like a radio plane, I feel like maybe they don't fly quite as good. They're a little bit harder to fly when you have off the stabilization. It's either auto leveling, stabilization, or totally nothing, if I recall. And if you fly them with nothing, it's just not very, it's almost hard to stay on top of the controls unless you go up to like a Radio Master or something like that, or a jumper. When you fly them on the stock transmitter that it comes with, because these are ready to fly planes, they just don't have like Expo and things like that you'd want. But they can be made to fly very good. Also, the landing gear are just butt ugly on this thing. If it weren't for those ugly landing gear, I feel like this would be a great plane.
But like our son flies that one a lot, and it's just
like
low
this.
consequence.
Like, what's wrong with that size wheel? It would look scale. And this is just simple and it looks right.
Yeah.
If these things weren't so big, it would look a lot better. But that plane flies great, is a great choice.
Yep.
Beginner or not, doesn't matter. I don't know if you'd be flying that as a beginner, to be honest. And then obviously we have batteries here. This one we just did. Not sure if you guys have seen the video yet. It's a bird that flaps its wing. I forget if that's like an orthocopter or something like that. I'm probably saying it wrong.
It's called the Go-Go Bird.
It's called the Go-Go Bird. Really cool. The cats like it, obviously. You've seen it because we flew it around at the beginning of this video. Or maybe it's not at the beginning of this video because the video got so long and boring. But we'll see. That's what you get for asking for special requests, guys. Okay, so in the office area, we have, you'll have to just kind of be careful how you film in here. So in the office, we have lots of more airplanes. We have the J3 Cub UMX, the P-51 UMX. I added flaps and LEDs to both of those. This is the F4u Corsair UMX that has safe from my original Sport Cub SUMX with full safe. This is not supposed to have safe, but it does, because I think I had something wrong with one of the servos. There was like one of those teeth was screwed up on a crash or whatever, so I replaced it. because it's an integral servo for the elevator and rudder. P47 UMX, I upgraded that so it does fly on 3S, and it has flaps and it has LEDs. That was one of the first flat mod videos I published. I saw a guy had done it, and I'm like, well, let's see if I can do it. And sure enough, I did. Total different plane. Awesome. Cessna 182 UMX, beautiful plane. This has an extra receiver in it, so I can fly the barn door flaps. And then, of course, I added LEDs. Did a really nice job on this one. I was really, really proud of this one. But at the same time, the funny part is this plane flew very good without flaps, but it looks so much cooler with flaps. And to be honest with you, when I'm flying planes, I like the flaps because it gives me something to do, especially on a general aviation. You know, if you get into the general aviation planes, sometimes they're just maybe a little bit more like boring, for lack of better terms, to fly. So you want to have something to do. This is just a model that Esteban got me. If there's ever a UMX that has EDFs that are this size and it flies scale, that's going to be amazing, and I will be all over it. P47, I got that from a buddy. He's kind of like getting out of the hobby. I don't know. That one never flew right. I don't know if like the motor was burned up or if there was a problem, but I never had enough power to fly. This is the Aero Commander UMX. I did all sorts of scale mods. Big split. The flaps are not split flaps, but there's 2 panel flaps on each side. LEDs. This was not motorized originally. It's the ASK21. That was supposed to be a pure glider, and you're supposed to like use a rubber band to launch it and then just sail it around. Really cool idea. I ended up putting in was that a night? What is that plane? I forget what one it is, but
I don't remember. I'd forgotten that.
It's a motor. It's actually like a motor from a Sport Cub, and then I actually got clear bladed fans. The problem I had with that, or for the propeller, the problem I had with that folding prop is it was extremely difficult to get that folding prop to fold. Really, really, really hard because it's a brushed motor and there's no braking. And so I basically used the additional, there was an additional servo for a tow release on there, and I believe I used that for the throttle. So I took out the tow release servo, used it for some other plane. I extended the surfaces so that they were bigger on the rudder and the elevator. Made a big improvement on that plane. This is the K124, one of my early helis. Beautiful scale plane helicopter to this day. You'll notice it's a little dusty. I don't fly these things too often, but I love this little thing. Brushless motor on the main, and then of course brushed on the tail. Not uncommon. Same thing here on this beautiful scale helicopters. Of course, you can fly these upside down and everything. The whole, I mean, just look at the wiper blades. That is so cool. So love this thing. Of course, we link to this stuff. This has got 3D6G AS350 from XK. And then, of course, the Apache from Blade, which is a Horizon Hobby product. I believe that has a brushless motor on the top and the back. So that's brushless, and this is brushless, so twin brushless motors. This is a very good flying helicopter, and it has this cool little detail. There was some issues with the landing gear on these. I had somebody, believe it or not, today making a comment about it. It's been discontinued for years. Some awards from work. Okay, pay no attention to this or that. That's not an airplane at all, I promise, except it is. So as you can see, we got more airplanes up here. We got the UMX Timber, UMX Turbo Timber, Carbon Cub SS UMX. Then we've got the E119, E129, and then E130, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
That's
I think so.
the E130. And then we've got back here, we've got a couple more. Hold on. This is going to be a little bit tricky, so I got to slide these down. I do not fly the helicopters near as much as I fly my airplanes. These little airliners are just super, super fun. And I found that these cups worked great to store them. Okay, I've showed this before, but if you guys haven't seen it before, this is the Boeing 787, also known as the QF800. I link to that all the time. And then I've got another Boeing, I believe. And I forget, is this a C-31? No, that's not the C-31. I forget what that one's called. But it's on the links. This is the Chinese version of the same. The A130, which is a Y20. Okay. Which one is this? I think it says it on here. I don't want to leave you guys shortchanged.
On the tail?
No, that's not it. I don't think it's marked. I forget what that is. T40. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Then we have a 747. See? This is the United.
Yes.
The United. Okay. This is the same exact setup as that, but that one you have to build. Different manufacturers of the same manufacturing family. The Airbus A380, which is an XK product. Very good. Beautiful. Love the way these things flew. I was always nervous that these were going to look bad, but you don't even notice them when you're flying. This does have a pesky elevator, pesky elevator, pesky elevator, pesky elevator, no pesky elevator. Okay? So as you can see, these things would take a lot of room if they weren't otherwise. Okay. So there's a K160, or excuse me, an E160 from eSheen. Beautiful. Look at all that machining. It's just a gorgeous assembly. Really gorgeous. I crashed this on Maiden on my video. That was always fun. Truth in advertising, right? K130. Beautiful. I think I might have crashed this one too. Really nice. Twice the heli that you... I mean, these things are so much better than the CP1, I think was the first one I had. First heli. This is a K110. Really good little indoor flying plane or helicopter. But if you ask me, if you're going to buy something like this, I'm a scale guy, so I would rather have something like that, even though these little ones will fly better. And that's an XK product. Anytime XK brands a flying aircraft from the Chinese brands, they usually are some of the better ones. They're not always the best, but they're usually in the upper echelon of Chinese choices. And so I'm going to show you putting these back because, you know, storing planes like this are really tough because you're wanting to try to keep them beautiful, but you don't want to take up tons and tons and tons of room. But you see what I'm running into there? You have to be real careful about putting them together. I can't even remember which direction I had those now. Camera crew, are you able to share this with the people?
I think, yeah, I'm trying to look over your shoulder, but not share other
Because I'm
things.
having to go, well, there's a box there. I mean, they're going to know it's a box, I guess. This is just a beautiful looking plane. It's so cool looking. It's actually quite detailed. I don't remember if we had problems with that one because the elevator didn't work very good though. Yeah, see, you got to just be real meticulous about the way you store these things or they're going to damage themselves. Love the little winglets on there. It's just so beautiful. So cool. And yeah, actually this thing flies good. Flight Test does one of these things. They've branded it on the Flight Test brand, which is, you know, it's cool, good for those guys. They've done so much for the hobby. I mean, it's not like we're even in their echelon. What do they have, like millions of viewers?
Yeah.
So, but I mean, they're one of the people I was watching.
Yep.
I really, really like this. Stupid elevators up because that's the way the flight controller ends up having it when you got it upside down or whatever. But I always thought that would be so cool if you had a couple of twin EDFs. You could throw some EDFs in there. How sweet would that be? And by the way, this year, 2021, is gonna be. It's gonna be. It's not even a question. It is gonna be an awesome year for airplanes. I already know about a few projects that are happening that are gonna be awesome. And we wanna take you along for the ride. Obviously, the storage of airplanes is a big part of our lives right now, just because we keep rotating through them. So hopefully you've picked up a few different ideas on how we did it. Did we show them? We didn't even really talk about it, and I feel bad now, but we had a bunch of gliders up on the wall. we had a file holder that had fingers like this that would come up, and we just like zip tied that onto the wall, and we put planes into it. So we just, whatever object, and then we did clamps. You know, I did clamps on the studs and tightened them, and then I had a big long clamp sticking out, and I could slide planes on. Whatever gets under the inboard portion of the wing and supports it without causing the wings to deflect a bunch, pretty much good. But if you don't have an unfinished basement, then it's a little bit more challenging. Then you're talking about hanging them from strings and stuff like that, and that's also a pain. So are there any other storage areas that I'm forgetting about, camera crew?
I don't think so.
We'll show them one more thing. You guys have seen this. It's just something that comes up in videos a lot. But the batteries, obviously the batteries take up a lot of room.
Hold on, I'm going to turn on the light if you're talking batteries.
Because we have so many batteries, and we have bags that store our adapters and, you know, special programming cables and things, and then chargers, more chargers. We got a lot of chargers.
Yeah.
Because when you get ready to fly planes and helicopters, you end up with a lot of different, you know, like one-off chargers. And so if you're trying to weigh the options between a couple of different products, that can be something that you can weigh in. But if you've only got like 6 or 7 of them, it's not a big factor. And then of course we got more batteries and then more equipment here. These little 1S and 2S and 3S packs, and like, you know, like this comes with this came with one of the E-flights. This is, and I'm sure E-flight would confirm this is one of their worst packs. And yes, by the way, if you were wondering, finally, smart pack, 1300 milliamp hour. This is worth 10 times what this is. And this is gonna, look at that. I got it this way.
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody who's dealt with that 1300 milliamp 3S, I don't know why, but they just must have had a lot of problems with that size class. Because look, even my Chinese ones, these ones are good. JJRC 1000 milliamp hour 3S, 20C they claim. But look how nice those are. Mm-hmm. So I don't know, that was just one of those fluke situations. But otherwise, lots of different storage comes into play when you're dealing with RC. And the cats seem to be still a little bit concerned about that thing. They aren't really using it much.
Just wait till 2 in the morning.
Wait till 2 in the morning.
Yep.
Then we'll hear it careening down to the ground.
Hopefully not.
Yeah. All right, so I promised you guys you'd get to see the airplane storage, and that's pretty much all we've got for you tonight. That was a super long and tedious video, and I hope that it was everything you wished it would be, because honestly for us, we only do that because we've been asked specifically to do it. I don't know, to me it seems like, I don't want people to get the wrong idea. We're not trying to like show off or something like that. That's not at all what we're doing here. We're just trying to kind of show people. They asked to see what the planes are and to see how we store them. And then obviously as we kind of go through this progression or digression, however way you want to look at it, we're gonna have to store every new plane that we get. And so we can periodically do this. I think we've done it, we did it when we moved. Mm-hmm. And then we did it probably like 2 or 3 times at the old house.
Yeah.
So we did have an opportunity to sell off a few older planes a few weeks ago. And so we took advantage. So the Airbus A380 is gone. And then I think I might've had a couple more planes. I had like an old P-51. Mm-hmm. I had a couple of flight test models that I wasn't gonna use. And so we got those sold. And you know, we sell an airplane for like $10 or $20 or whatever, and it gets us off our hands, and we move on to the next ones.
Yep.
So, but that being said, we're always trying to bring the latest and greatest technology to you so you can make your minds up. And we really appreciate you guys being part of our YouTube existence and our real life. What you see is just it's a part of our real life, but it's just part. I mean, I got a full-time job. We have 4 kids. We have 3 cats. You saw a little bit more about that today. You can hear them trying to dig. Hey, stop. Cats dig when they're going. But we really appreciate you guys. We want you to know that we really do appreciate you. And if you want to help us, if you want to return the favor, the way you can do that is either watching the videos, and you don't have to watch the whole video. You're not gonna hurt our feelings if you don't. But if you want to buy things and you know you're going to buy them anyway, check the links in the description below. If we don't have a direct link for something, you can ask. And also at the top of the list, there are links that are going to take you to like Horizon Hobby or BitGo Hobby or Hobby King even, which we don't do much business with Hobby King, but it's there. And if you follow those links, then we'll get, like, I don't know, a couple cents worth of commission or whatever. And it just helps to fund the channel because we're always looking for ways to fund it because there's a tremendous amount of time that goes into this. And it's not just my time, it's family's time, camera crew's time. So me and Megan spend many hours doing this. And I want to do it. I don't know if she so much wants to or she tolerates it, but one way or another, she fakes it good if she's putting up with it.
Quantity time over quality time.
Yeah, right. But that's one big way you can help support the channel.
For sure.
And as we build up clout with different manufacturers, then they're more willing to send us stuff to review. And that's ultimately how we bring it to you. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to do like hundreds of planes in a year because that's just like, from a cost component, it would be too hard. I mean, we used to do a lot of planes, but we didn't do near what we do now.
Right.
We're probably doing 10 times the volume what we were back in the day. So, and we're okay with that. And the more we review, the more opportunities we have to bring you guys lemons. So as we bring you lemons, we want to make sure that you know they're lemons. And when we bring you awesome planes like that T-28 we just reviewed the other day, great plane, and there's tons of them like that. They're getting so much better now. And even the cheapest ones are getting a lot better. So it's really exciting and we want to bring it to you. And thank you for being part of our team. Come back for more.